stream.
I have to show you something after I freshly shave my head that is freaking me out too. I want to ask my mom if I had brain surgery or something, because on this side of my head, I got this. It looks like my skull has been cracked. It goes from here all the way up to here, and I'm like,
Did you
what
ever
the
fall down?
fuck? Hell yes. Hell yes. The first time I ever skated a vert ramp, I did it without a helmet. Yeah.
No?
And I got caught. I got caught on the I got coping caught. Like, it was an
Yeah.
11-foot ramp.
Yeah.
Bam! They said I was out for like 2 or 3 minutes. Like,
That
it
could
explains
be it.
so much too. It explains so much of my life that if my mom goes, "Yeah, you had brain surgery when you were a kid." You had brain surgery a couple of times. I forgot to tell you.
Thanks, Mom.
It's weird. What next time I shave my head right before I come over here, I accidentally took a too long of a nap, and I would have shaved it today and showed it to you. But every time I shave my head now, I don't know if it's the lighting at my house, the house or anything or what. But I'm like, what the fuck? And then I thought maybe it was wearing headphones or something.
You know that's a thing.
Oh yeah, our
say
our hearing is going to be
No.
done pretty soon.
Online people that are like these Twitch streamers and all that are on the line online all day long.
Yeah,
They're starting to get dents in their heads from wearing headphones and stuff the whole time.
I don't think that's what this is, but if it is,
I doubt that's what it is.
Yeah,
You're not
we're
wearing
not here-
headphones that long.
yeah, it's not like
Just
we're
a couple
DJing.
hours a week. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's freaky. It's visible. Like Mandy sees it. Mandy's like, yeah, that's something.
What if it's an assassination attempt?
I'm just wondering, should I have a metal plate in my head, or do I have a metal plate in my head?
If the microwave goes off, do you get a little weird? Like Uncle or Cousin?
Yeah, Eddie.
Cousin Eddie. Oh my God.
Good. Microwave turns on. I piss my pants and forget where I'm at.
They replaced it with a ceramic one.
Yeah. I don't know if I should be going down that.
One of those plates in my brain. Oh shit, that's funny. Well, let's fire this thing. Now I want to shave my head and see if I have any weird dents.
I recommend all my friends shave their head. See if they got a weird
shave your
dent.
head and
see
see
if
you
how
have
many
any
dents you got.
dents and scars.
And that can't. Like, I've always known I'm a weird guy. But like I said, if my mom says yeah, I'll be like, well, that explains a bunch.
She brings out all these weird X-rays and MRIs and shit.
I do have some memories of a weird doctor's office where there was a lot of colors and stuff, and like where they were testing me for a lot of weird shit. So I wonder if that's what it was. I had something done to my brain. Had a chip installed.
How many times have you been operated on? This is just how many times have you been operated on?
Like gone under?
And not known why you were being operated on or what the hell was going on?
Yeah.
That's happened once to me.
Well, I've only been put under a few times. I got put under with my knee.
I've never gone under.
I got put under with my colonoscopy, and I got put under for the knife when I almost died. Other than that, that's all I know. I mean, that's all I know of. If there's more, my mom has some splaining to do, especially one that caused a big dent on the hemisphere of my skull. Actually, it's not the hemisphere; it's the prime meridian.
Yeah, your equator line.
My equator. It's not an equator line. It's a prime meridian. I guess.
Yeah, it's the prime meridian. I fell in Kansas on a rock that was like a glass gym rock or something. I was walking and I tripped and fell and hit it, and it cut me right there on the top of my eye.
Did you have to have surgery?
We were in Kansas. They rushed me. They thought I cut my head open. I was with my grandparents. They rushed me to the hospital, and I just laid there, and all I remember is just looking and not knowing what the hell everyone was doing. Like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, you probably got knocked silly a bit.
And the they sewed it all up and everything, but that's why I have that scar right there by my eye, whichever side it's on. I don't even remember.
Unknown surgery talk.
Unknown surgery. All right, let's start this.
Like my
show.
mom, I'm gonna ask my mom about this skull thing,
Mhm.
and she's just gonna go.
What if she goes?
Well, where do you want to start?
Well, when you're little, you were a test subject. We actually saved you. What if it's like one of those stories?
We we picked
it's
you
your
up in the streets of
Wolverine-
Azel.
It's your Wolverine origin story.
Yeah.
Me and your dad were driving home one night, and you were just standing in the road naked.
There was a
Scared,
compound
shaking.
nearby.
All of your hair was shaved off and everything. You're just sitting there shaking, scared. So we adopted you, took you in. You're like, what?
I'm a Peggy.
And you're right outside. You're a Peggy. You're right outside of some camp that they did crazy experiments on you, on
Yeah.
kids or something.
Yeah, that's why when I see that guy that does the shaking his dick, the hog thing, whatever, with the cape out in Azel, that video that goes
Oh,
around,
yeah.
I'm always like,
Do you fuck like a
Dude,
jug?
yeah.
Jug.
every time I see that, I glitch out.
What's that guy's name? I don't remember who he was. Yeah, you were 11 from Stranger Things.
I think I might have been 11. Dude. I'm 12.
but it sucks because you have no superpowers. You're just like,
Yeah.
I didn't get anything out of this. That would be my thing.
All I do is shit a lot.
I get bit by an animal, some radioactive animal, and I don't get shit from it. I just
Yeah.
die.
I'm gonna next show. I'm gonna come in with a big helmet, skateboard helmet on.
One of those oversized ones.
I went to the doctor about that prime meridian skull dent.
And
Well, I gotta wear this the rest of my life.
that dude that sits down in the Cowboys Miller Lite Club that has the big Cowboys helmets with all
That's
lights
me
and shit
now.
on. You're gonna bring it in.
That's probably what you'd want to do too. You'd be like, let's decorate that.
Yeah, let's put the lights on it.
Next thing I know, I
Strobes.
look like Doc from Back to the Future walking around.
There you go. All right, here we go.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
This episode of the
John's Last Kicker.
is brought to you by
Geist note.
and
Victor Wrench.
and Plastic Object.
The Jerry Jonestown Massacre contains graphic material, including offensive language
I got
Partial
a prime
nudity.
meridian head.
and completely ridiculous thoughts and opinions that shouldn't be expressed or shared by anyone. Listener discretion is advised.
For I am a sinner in the hands of an angry God. Bloody Mary, full of vodka, blessed are you among cocktails. Pray for me now, and at the hour of my death, which I hope is soon. Amen.
After I'm gone, your Earth will be free to live out its miserable span of existence as one of my satellites. And that's how it's going to be.
Live from the Temple of High, it's the Jerry Jonestown Massacre!
It needs to be a song.
It is, it does. Show number 540. It is Tuesday, August 29th, 2023.
There's 2 more days left in this month.
And then we move into the month of September when everything's going to change.
The sky looks different already. Sunday, it rained at my house.
Yeah, what'd you think of that?
I thought Mandy was about to take her clothes off and jump out in the street and start dancing.
Well, you could do that in the backyard.
Yeah, we were in the front yard when it came blowing through.
Dude, I was driving back from Fort Worth from my sister's house, and the highway was crazy.
Yeah,
the
it was,
wind that
it was
moved
worse
in,
out there.
it turned into a dust storm on 121 where they're doing all the construction on 121 820, like dirt to where everybody was having to come to a stop because no one could see. It was
Well-
like a sandstorm just blew in. I thought I was in Egypt.
Yeah, so I live by a pretty major intersection in Arlington, Texas.
Mhm.
Wrecks after wrecks after wrecks that afternoon because of the oil.
Oh, everything got slick. That's got to be fun.
Yeah.
Were you worried about your new fence? Don't come through the fence.
Man, that would have to be a horrendous wreck for that thing to come all the way. And you know how pissed I'd be?
I'm super
I would
pissed.
just be beating some dead guy's ass. Fucking idiot.
I'm dead. Just leave me
You
alone.
fucking moron. But yeah, the weather has dissipated, I guess, a little bit. The heat.
Until
We're
tomorrow.
not weathermen. Well, I mean,
Or
it's only going to
Thursday.
go up to 101, though. I mean, that's still a cold front. To me.
Friday's 110.
Oh, I didn't see that part of the
And
weather
Danzig
report.
is at Starplex on Friday,
Yuck.
and it's going to be 110.
That's yuck.
Will not be there.
I will not be there.
I will not be there. I served, I think, my last show duty at Starplex for the season this past week, and I nearly died.
I don't mind going to Starplex during normal months, but I can't do it. I can't go to Dallas during these months right now. It's just too far of a drive, and it's too hot for me.
When your tires
That
start
sounds
sticking
lazy.
on the
Right.
asphalt as you're driving,
Oh.
just being all sticky and gross, and you're driving on slicks.
My Traeger, I keep it covered like you're supposed to,
Uh-huh.
and I broke it out on Sunday night, which was a disaster, by the way. And the AC adapter, the cord,
Mhm.
power cord, had melted to the side of the Traeger. So much
It was
so
that
bad.
hot.
It was that hot on my porch this summer. It was so melted. I peeled it off, and there was a wire exposure. I had to go in with electrical tape before I used it, and had a complete disaster. I really don't want to talk about it, but I feel like I should because I need pointers. I tried to do a pork loin and some wings. Stayed up till 2:00 in the morning for rocks. Just dried that shit out.
When'd you start it?
Like 4.
Are you? Oh, you're supposed to go that long.
I was doing low and
low.
slow, low and slow. I'm
thought
a
that
freak
was like
about
a
chicken
3 or
anyway.
4 hour.
I always dry out my chicken, but pork loin, I've never really had a problem with it. But this,
Were your wings? Did they have stuff on them?
no, I just put they both were dry rubbed. I had maybe a honey coating on the pork loins with a dry rub. Dude, everything that I learned last year from using my Traeger, I guess I forgot over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And so 2:00, I'm finally wanting to eat and like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. I need to get this going. And there's nothing more frustrating than cutting into some chicken that you've made that looks charred on the outside, is pink on the inside. Because chicken's like the biggest thing you have to worry about.
You're
when
being
you-
asked what your temperature is.
My temperature was 160 the whole time.
Hmm.
It was insane. This was a loss, a total loss. 3 pounds of pork and chicken, a pound of chicken, completely useless. Like Barkley wouldn't even eat it.
I got to go look at my cheat sheet, my little book I have.
I
that
need to get a
make.
cheat sheet, I guess.
Well, I have one written out.
The problem is
With
the
stuff.
Traeger doesn't act right sometimes. It does this overcompensating
I thought it was supposed to be
thing.
perfect.
It's supposed to be, but they fucking lie. That it's supposed to be where you can just go sit in, watch football, and
use
not worry
your-
about it. Use your phone if you want,
Yeah.
but not mine. Mine overcompensates because what happens is, I guess, for some reason, that if you open it up, if it feels there's enough temperature drop, it fires up like crazy. And next thing you know, you're up at like 350 degrees. And you're like, what the hell? I have this on smoke. I have it on 160
Yeah.
and below. And so I don't know what Traeger needs to do to figure that thing out, because that's the problem because then what happens to me is I start freaking out thinking I'm screwing things up, and I start messing with the chimney and all that, and just start doing all kinds of stuff. 160 is too low to get cooked on the inside. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I did too. It was too low to cook on the inside, and it charred the outside completely. So next time I run it, that's what I'm gonna do. Rich is the 200 to 275, because I've read that's where the sweet spot is for chicken.
This says 3 to 4 hours at 180.
I need to figure out
That's
how
on
to do
Traeger's
chicken. I
website.
love smoked chicken and grilled chicken. That's one of my favorite things to have during the summer. Barbecue smoked and barbecue
I can
grilled
grill
chicken,
you some
man.
chicken all day long. Smoking's a little different. My smoker's a little weird, but
Well, this pellet
I've
thing.
done a
Hey,
few.
Rich, are you doing pellet? I wonder if he's doing pellet, because
yeah, normally, like he says, when I'm using my smoker out there, my locker, I've got to be over 200 to get things done.
no, Robert Tuman, they weren't Red Wings, but I do have mine.
What does Detroit have to do with it?
I do have mine though. Do you?
Are you a man?
As all the ladies go, ooh. You don't have a Traeger. You just got a normal wood smoker. I got you.
The taste of a copper.
So you're a pro. We need to come to your place. Well, next time y'all jam, throw some meat on the smoker. We'll come over and we'll have a good time.
I
Fellowship.
used to have a good smoker out there. Got rid of it. Got the gas grill and then got the locker. The locker's great. I just can't put giant things in the locker.
Like a body?
Yeah, like an arm. You have to sever the arm a couple of times before you put it in there and smoke it.
Thought we were gonna have to do that this morning when I woke up. Thought you were gonna have to call me over. Thought you were gonna call in the wolf this morning.
Yeah, I nearly did. I don't know what that was crazy. We'll get into that later.
So that's my my Traeger
smoking's
disaster,
crazy.
man. Smoking's crazy. It's an art. It's an art, man.
It is an
you gotta
art.
have
It is
clean
an art.
smoke and
You
all
gotta
that.
Man, it took me doing ribs 100 different ways. I even did them
I'm
the
s-
way everybody told me, and then I found the technique, the 3-2-1, and they're fucking perfect every time.
I'm gonna do the 3-2-1 next rib. Time I do next time I do ribs, I'm gonna do that because I keep going back. Like my ribs are not consistent. I'll do a good batch one time, and then I'll go 3 of just shit.
Since I've gone 3-2-1, they're perfect every time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've done them all sorts of different ways. I've dressed them up all sorts of different ways, rubbed them different ways, and 3-2-1 always works.
Yeah.
Just gotta have that apple vinegar
Yeah. Oh yeah.
ready
Yeah.
to go.
It's
You
spraying
gotta
it.
spray it.
See, that's what the article that I read for the pork loin was you don't really need to do that because it's the something about the way pork heats up when you're smoking it. But that's where I think I fucked up. I didn't spray it at all. I didn't use any sauces or anything as far as
You gotta
mixing
keep
up,
that
getting it
moisture
thin
going.
and that's what I think I did.
Yeah,
I don't
you
think
gotta
I kept
keep that moisture.
kept the moisture.
So the moisture keeps going. The moisture helps cook.
It was a real humid
Inside
night,
out.
though. It was after. I know that didn't have much to do with it. It probably draws out.
No,
when
because
it's moist
you got to
out.
drench them.
Yeah.
The 3-2-1 method is with ribs. Is you cook them, you smoke them open for 3 hours, and then you wrap them in aluminum. You drench them, coat them with everything, wrap in aluminum for 2 hours, and then in the final hour, you unwrap them, put them back in there for 1 more hour, and they're
There's no heat adjustments.
no,
Keep it slow and low.
no, two
Two to
at least
275?
225. I think it's 225 is where you got to keep it at. I have to look. I got it all
Yeah.
written down in my little book
Because if I'm gonna start,
where I've done star charting.
if I'm gonna start rolling smoke barbecue up in the Arlington edition,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna franchise, buy that franchise and start slaying barbecue up here, I gotta get a lot better.
And you need a big giant smoker too. You need a
Well, we're just gonna go Jack Hurtado's because it's right down the street.
You
from
need
me.
Crystal Gale too.
And I don't think they got it chained up.
Oh well, okay. Let's just go get
Let's
it.
go get it.
The big dragging it down the road.
Is that y'all's?
What's going on?
Yeah.
So on Thursday night I went to Dos Equis to shoot the
Still hot as hell on Thursday night.
It was. The Freaks on Parade tour. It was the first night of the tour. And the bands that night were Filter.
Wake up my
Now, hold on.
airplane.
This made me think of you right off the bat. Filter, Ministry, Alice Cooper, and Rob Zombie.
What a good show.
So Filter comes on, and they play 5 songs.
Good.
Guess what they open with?
Wake on my airplane. Hey man, nice shot.
No,
The
that was what they closed with. Was "Hey Man, Nice Shot."
The fold.
Nope. God, this made me laugh so hard. Hey, we're Filter, and this is our first time playing in Dallas in so long, and blah blah blah.
Did you see they played Tyler, Texas?
They played a full set in Tyler, Texas. All the bands did shows right around here
Yeah,
in
and then
Texas.
came in and
came
started.
in and started the tour like they were warming
We
up.
should have gone to the
Except
Tyler
Ministry. We probably should have. That would have been fun. They opened with. Please work.
show. Oh no!
Like, why this song out of all of them? Why? This is the one
This
we
is
made
on our-
fun of. This is on our.
This is on our soundtrack for Big Ben that
Yeah.
we never played.
To wake up in the morning to and aggravate the wildlife.
Oh, I want to. Let me.
So they opened with that.
I would have been down with that.
It was their set was good. It's 5 songs. Then Ministry came out.
I always thought that was Crystal Method though.
It was it's them with Crystal Method.
Yeah, it's a duo
Filter
thing,
with
right?
Crystal
Like
Method
a
on the Spawn album.
Collaboration for a movie.
That weird Spawn record that we talked about where there's collaborations. The soundtrack that's weird. So they opened with that. They went through Take a Picture and finally
Did you walk out when they did that?
I was up there. The last song of the 3 songs you can take pictures of was Take a Picture, which was kind of funny. And then they did Hey Man, Nice Shot and all this crap. And it was 5 songs and they're done. Maybe 6, but I think it was just 5. And then Ministry came out and played all classics, one new song,
just ripped it,
and one song they haven't played in 40 years off With Sympathy. And then Alice Cooper came on.
That was he.
It's Alice Cooper.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it. And
no,
you know,
he doesn't. He doesn't take mulligans anymore.
I mean, let's be realistic. We know why Alice Cooper's badass.
Well, I like Alice Cooper. You like Nina.
His whole band is badasses. He's got one of the greatest backing bands ever. But he's such a showman, just standing up there doing his poses and everything like he should, and cutting his head off and doing all sorts of crazy, walking around with a sword and throwing it into the stage and throwing canes out into the crowd and stuff.
I almost went up to
Dude, he was
Windstar to
great.
see him last Halloween, but it got canceled, or maybe COVID canceled it.
Well,
Something
and
like
he was
that.
supposed to play Will Rogers too. And I don't know
Yeah.
if that got canceled or not. But anyway, and then Rob Zombie, if it's 108 outside and with
Flames.
19,000 people in the shell, it raises the temperature another 10 degrees. Why do you have fucking flames? Why do you have pyro?
Torture.
It was pure torture.
How many songs did you get to shoot on him?
3. And then after that 3rd song, we had a guy pass out in the pit. A photographer passed out in the pit. First time that's
His
ever
pictures
happened.
are great.
Oh, yeah. He nearly passed out during Alice Cooper, but he passed out and he was just holding himself up on the speakers the whole time we were out there. Then he walked off with us. But
Should probably go.
I was
in.
so hot, I was like, I'm done. We need to leave. I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
And left.
Well, hopefully the season of just getting, out of the shower and letting your saggy balls just get blown off by your fan.
At least this week
for
we're in
30
AC.
minutes. Yeah.
It's a nice AC show.
Yeah.
Have you listened real quick? Okay, so we're gonna go see Death Clock on Thursday. Death Clock and Baby Metal, but Death Clock is the big winner here. Have you heard their new record?
No. I've seen it and listened to what was playing on the I guess what do you call it, like a trailer clip or something.
So they released 2 last week. On Tuesday they released the Death Album 4, and then they released the soundtrack to the movie. Death Album 4 or Death Clock 4, whatever you want to call it. Here soon, I think. It may already be out. It's streaming only. It's not going to be in a theater.
Is it going to be an Adult Swim stream?
I think it may be on Cinemax or whatever.
Okay,
I have to
cool.
go look. But anyway, the first song is called The Lawn Man or something like that. But the bridge where the solo is nothing but people being murdered by a weed eater. It's awesome. It's the best thing ever.
Sounds awesome.
The Death Clock's so great. But that's in AC. Starplex always does their shows in the summer because it's a shell. I forgot what they call them. A shed.
When I worked at
venue.
Radioland, it was such a beating doing those shows.
I remember going to
Wanna
Lollapaloozas as a
die.
kid and Ozfest.
That's when we were kids and we could take it.
And Warp Tour.
Not anymore.
All that.
You know when I realized that I can't take it anymore? Was that
Last
Cody
week.
Jinks
Oh,
show
was that there?
out? Yes.
That was there?
Yes.
Mm.
And that turned out to not be the most disgustingly hot weekend. It was one of those weird weekends in the middle of July where it kind of cooled off a little bit. You cannot see a show there in July and August. They should be free shows there
They should be.
because there's no way that anyone should pay to have to be tortured unless it's for weight loss.
Or you might as well just walk around naked.
Well,
But you can't do that in this day and age.
And most of the stuff they book at Starplex, do you really want to go up there if everyone's naked?
What were you saying at the Metallica show? What
Sweaty.
do you want to You want to clue everybody in on what
I
you're
don't remember
saying?
much. By the way, 12 days sober. That's a new record.
30 seconds.
Yeah, that show cashed me in.
You were done?
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
Dude, I stopped. Man,
I
I am
can't
still
drink.
watching all the videos I can of that show.
That show was great.
All the stuff that Housecore has put out, video wise and promotion wise. Anything Metallica puts out.
I don't
Anything
understand.
anything Van Damme guys put out, I'm watching.
I don't understand John Travolta at Pantera this
That's
weekend.
so crazy.
Very weird. Jason Momoa, I get.
I like how
John
he just
Travolta?
becomes a
I don't.
dork though. Like this big brutal looking guy with a big old deep voice who likes metal and is in movies.
Man, I loved you in. What's that movie?
Game of Thrones is where I really loved him when he was him and Khaleesi.
Oh, I thought we were talking about John Travolta.
Oh no, I'm on to Momoa.
Jason Momoa.
But
oh, no,
Travolta
Jason
looked
Momoa's
good,
cool.
dude. I thought Travolta looks good, man. That plastic surgeon out there in L.A., man.
He
works
killed his
wonders.
wife, took her blood, and faced off her.
Yep. Hillary's got her.
Yeah.
Hillary's got her face. There's a conspiracy theory.
Let's start that one up.
You know where John Travolta's wife's at? On Hillary's
On
face.
Hillary's face. They took the blood of her and injected it into him.
Yeah. Yeah, that I just
But
can't
he's
get
starting
enough
to
of that.
he's starting to get squinty eyes. Like
like oatmeal brain.
no, not oatmeal brain, but like
Oatmeal brain is starting to look like Beavis
what's his name?
or Butthead. Which one's the one? Well, actually, they both had squinty eyes.
The gambler, what was his name? Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
He's starting to get Kenny Rogers' face. Kenny
Remember-
Rogers had squint eyes.
Do you remember the first year that Jerry Jones got his surgery done and how crazy he looked for like 6 months?
No offense. No offense.
Nothing good comes after someone says no offense.
But when Jerry Jones had his surgery, immediately after his surgery, like that first season when he started making appearances and stuff,
Yeah.
I thought he was from like Southeast Asia or something like that. That did not look like.
You thought he's a
him.
reptilian.
Well, they like his face got real round,
Like
and
from V.
weird, and I was
He
like,
eats
"What?
parakeets.
Is he? I don't know. That was weird.
I see. I think I've noticed this about the plastic surgery. By the way, what do you think about Nicole Kidman's plastic surgery look on Linus?
I don't know because she has no emotion in that show.
Because she's just had some plastic surgery done.
I'm Nicole Kidman, and I'm just
Dude.
going to talk to you like this. You need to get to Washington now.
Here's my deal. I think if
Eyes
I
wide shut,
ever
hot as-
become rich enough, she'll never be that again. If I ever become rich enough and I get plastic surgery done, I'm not going to show my face for 6 months because I think right after it's done is the worst time to go out in public because you look like a goddamn alien.
That's what I don't get about like these Instagram models and all that do crazy stuff.
Take
They
6
go out-
months off.
They go out and they get all these crazy injections all in their face, and their lips are gigantic.
Yeah.
And it's like, why don't you? You don't have to post every day.
Wait
You've
till
already
it-
made enough money. You already have enough endorsement money coming through all this. Let your lips die down so you don't look like a cartoon.
Let the plastic, acclimate to your body for 6 months and then come out.
We had a very good friend that did this, and I will never forget another one of our friends seeing her for the first time and going, "What the fuck?" Just straight up loud. He was so shocked at her lips.
No, man. Can you
What the
imagine? Dude,
fuck?
okay. Imagine this. You and I just stack 3 grams, right? Go to see a show. And I'm not talking about the chocolate cute bars. I'm talking about we just eat 3 grams of pure grade psilocybin mushrooms, right?
Uh-huh.
And we go to a show and someone comes up
One of our friends walks up
just
with
plastic.
lips.
Wow.
I'd be like, is this Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Are you part cartoon?
Am I in the spirit world? Yeah. If you anybody in the chat room, if you're gonna get plastic surgery, take 6 months off before you come back. All right. That's the plan.
At least.
6 months. 6 months minimum. Why do the doctors not tell them, hey, you're gonna look crazy, so don't go out? Because now that's what the kids want. They want that look. They want that look of my face is stretched around to my balls.
You know, here's another thing. I like boobs. I'm a big fan of boobs. I've always been forever.
I hate them.
Matt hates them. I love them. If you get them done, you don't have to show everybody right off the bat. Let those implant scars die down a little bit. No one wants to see, hey, look, I'm still bleeding, but I'm proud of these.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, don't do that. Relax.
Let the stitches heal.
Relax. Wait until you're supposed to massage them and they get more realistic and everything.
I can help you with that.
That's creepy.
Well, it's not creepy because I hate boobs.
Oh, but you're just putting out a service.
Yeah, just
Okay. Yeah. You're just supposed to massage them and work them out to where they start feeling more realistic and not just giant bricks like you're a Eastern Bloc woman that needed them to make money in a club around here.
like my whole Instagram feed.
Well, really?
I hate boobs.
So, yes. And the same thing, I don't know. It is weird being away from someone for a while and they show up and you're like, whoa.
You know what I don't
You
get?
have had a ton of work since I've last seen you. I
I'm
don't
guess-
even know who you are.
Did that recently just happen to you at one of your hobbies that you take very seriously?
No.
Has it?
No, it has not.
Oh, really?
No. it
I
has
figured
not.
some of the leaders would have gotten some work done.
No. They have no.
They don't have enough money to do it.
No. They
How
have
much
enough
did those
money.
cat? What do you think they make? The people that lead those squads out there,
Quite a bit.
a bit,
Yeah.
over $100 grand a year,
A bit.
a bit more.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with this.
Okay, we'll stop talking about it then. I don't want to get you fired because there's a couple things I want to see this season.
Yeah, quite a bit. But yeah, they're they're not that. They would get Botox stuff just to kind of even lines out and stuff, but they wouldn't go crazy.
No plastic.
They're
man?
not into all that. No, they're realistic. Now there's another squad
Well,
at the same stadium that those people
those coaches.
they walk around like this. It's like,
So
is that his?
do you think John Travolta was high, or do you think he had some
I-
recent
he-
knifing?
He's that was a lot of.
I think he's done it before
Kenny
a few
Rogers.
times.
He
too.
has because he completely changed.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he had chisel jaw, like complete, like superhero jaw.
Now they work on and off for different movie roles and stuff, but there was one where you could tell he had a bunch of work done to smooth him out and make him. I don't know. I mean, people are vain.
I don't get it. Like,
Maybe you need it. For
remember
roles.
when
You can't
Everman
just
came
grow
in
old
and was talking about how
gracefully.
someone gave him a free Botox?
His thetans were off.
Yeah. Remember when Everman came in and said he had just gotten some Botox done for free? And I was like, well, I might do that for free,
Yeah.
but it's never been offered to us. I might put botulism in my face for free.
Would you be that guy that just that put Botox in his penis?
Oof. No, I don't think so. That
So
doesn't
he
sound
could
like
have
it's
the
gonna go well.
weirdest, and then he pulls it out, and it's this giant, just bulge of crap, and he's all
No.
proud of it. That's the weirdest video ever.
You know what? I
that
don't.
was like a Vice
You
video.
know what's weird to me is when you get a performance from a dance artist at an establishment and they have a fake butt. That is the weirdest thing. That weirds me out when you touch that.
So the first time I
It's
ever
so
saw
weird.
one in real life, I was
It looks weird and it feels weird.
I was at the Rose.
Full disclosure.
Full disclosure, I was at the Rose. I don't have nothing to hide, and me and Michelle were hanging out at the bar talking, and this girl walked by, and I was like, "Man, her butt looks weird." And she's like, "It's fake,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "What? There's implants in there."
Mhm.
And the girl came back by, and Michelle was like, "Show him the trick," and she took the implant and made it look like it
Awkward.
rolled inside of her butt. Like it flipped around. She did something weird with her
Doesn't
hands
that
and
creep
moved
you
it
out?
around.
The butt implants
It's
creep
just
me out.
weird.
And they don't feel right.
How were you allowed to touch the butt?
What?
Well, Susie wants to
you
know
just
how you're
grab
allowed
it.
to touch the butt.
Oh, you got to understand. We go to the Rose. We're not sieves.
Well, any strip club now is kind of
Yeah, they've gotten a lot. Let you do whatever.
they'll grab your hands and put them in places. Is what they'll do.
Last time I went to one, but the one that I felt Susie wasn't at a strip club.
It's just weird.
It was,
like the whole thing's weird.
It was a young. That's the other thing. The girl that actually the one that I touched was a young girl, like 22. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you do that?
Just do squats.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
the dance that
That's
I
the
got,
secret.
that was they just don't look right. And that was at what's it? That was pre-COVID at where did the Marines used to always do their toy drive? Silver City, over there.
You're at Silver City.
I think either that or
That's a
the
place.
Lodge.
I've only went to
I
it
can't
once,
remember.
and that was like 40 years ago.
Well, remember when the radio station
I
used to
would've
do
been
all our
6,
toy drives
but-
there with the Marines?
Yeah.
That's why I don't go there anymore.
I think that's just a
I don't
weird
go to
thing to
Dallas
do.
anymore. That
Just work your butt out. It's not that hard. That's the easiest muscles to work out. Your legs and your butt are the easiest muscles to work out. Don't go get an implant.
Yeah.
Just all you got to do is squats and lunges, and you're good.
Mhm.
You tone your legs up and you tone your butt up.
Yeah.
Huh.
they need to be more focused on bleaching things than their butt implants. Because nobody wants to look at a damaged starfish.
Wow.
It's always
Uh,
weird, man.
Some taint bleaching.
Girls
and
got a
some
perfect butt, crack, everything, and then starfish just looks like it just swam in cocoa butter or cocoa before. But then never mind. I'm getting too detailed.
I like going through. No,
We're
keep
gonna start
going.
talking about the ridges.
Yeah.
and the years.
But you can tell their age.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I
like
I
girls
like
discover
this.
to bleach their buttholes right
I'm
around
a
the
big
age of
fan of this journey through
19,
Matt's mind.
20.
Keep going. Keep going down this path. I like this.
Now I'm uncomfortable. Girls, just make sure you bleach that butthole if you're going to perform.
Especially if you're going to perform.
Guys, same thing.
Yeah.
Please.
Guys.
Yours is worse.
Oh my God. Hairs and weird shit. So I'm going to take a social media break, I think. I think I'm going to follow your path.
Dude, I told you.
At least off the big one.
Welcome to the society.
This week has been crazy from all different angles on there. People are out of their goddamn fucking mind on Facebook.
A lot of
Facebook,
stress and anxiety out there.
I just don't know. I think everybody's hot. I think everybody's doing crazy substances,
that's a
or
lot of
they've
it.
ran out of substances.
The heat is a lot of it, I think.
And I think it's just people have gone crazy. And the stuff they're saying, and like, I don't know.
I think people are sleeping with their cell phones too close to their head. They're
That could
falling
be it,
asleep
too.
while it's charged, and they're getting all that energy, and
Just-
it's fucking up their brains.
That's why you got to move it across the room.
Yeah, don't charge the phone while you're sleeping. Next to you. Go put it in the other room.
It's ridiculous. Like, just watching the things people say and the stuff that's going on and how the conversations that are going on between different people and the stuff that's being said, you're just like, are you guys paying attention to what you're saying to each other, or what the fuck's going on, or
It's
what
so
you're
meaningless.
what you're doing, like,
Yeah.
or what you're posting? Like, I had an incident this weekend, which, you know, is no big deal, whatever. I don't want to get into it, but it was like people just not thinking about what's going on, and you try to reach out and you try to help people, and it all backfires. And you try to make a point about something, it all backfires. So if I didn't have my photography stuff in this show on Facebook, I would totally shut down Facebook right now or suspend it or whatever. But if I suspend it, it suspends all the pages that
Yeah.
everything's hooked up. So it's got to stay there. But
We need to hire a social media
I want to
worker.
Yeah, I want to stop. I'm going to stop going on Facebook, period, as much as I do, or I'll just hop on there. But when I wake up in the morning and there are 50 notifications, that little bubble says like 50 or 60, and half of those are from one fucking person,
Mm-hmm.
that is tiresome.
See, I did
Tiresome.
I stuck my toes in a little bit before I completely quit and turned the notifications off. That's the first step. Turn your notifications off for a week first. Only check it when you get home or whatever. When specify a time where you're going to check it.
Well, there are things I need to know my notifications about. I need to
Yeah.
have notifications, and that sucks. I
Yeah.
really, really hate that I have to have notifications for certain things. And I buried it again. I had pulled it out because I was like, I got to control this. Now it's buried again where it's not.
You haven't deleted the app yet on your phone.
I haven't deleted the app yet because I still need it.
That's when it gets real.
For different shit. I still need it for stuff that I have going on in contacts.
I just think there's
with different pages I'm doing.
There's very little critical thinking and logic going on on social media. It's all hyperbole bullshit. It's all, I want you to think my life is like this, and I want to tell you about how your life is so bad. That's all social media is right now at this point. Let me take a little time to go on a little rant. So we're going to get into something in a little bit in the show that we found very interesting about, the things in our universe. Dude, getting on Facebook or Instagram or any kind of social media and getting worked up about it, you are wasting borrowed time. Ladies and gentlemen, you better have your house built on a rock. Like, I don't care what religion it is. I don't care any kind of, believe in something, because we're about to get tested. The end
very hard
is near. And to be spending time on social media, bitching about this, bitching about that, lying about this, lying about that, acting like you're something that you're not, posting selfies of your new butt implants, whatever, you're wasting valuable time.
I want to see.
Yeah, well, my point is,
you're
wasting this time. We are getting to the end of this test.
And that's the thing, is like, that's what came to me in all of this whole process, was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm trying to help people out. I'm trying to let them see that what they're doing could be and turned out to be
detrimental
to their career or what they want to do. I'm trying to help you not do that, and at least get it in your head. You need to erase this, get rid of this. Don't let people see this. Nah, it's too late. But this happened, a couple times. There's been other shit going on, and people bitching and whining and complaining about shit that in the big picture doesn't fucking matter.
I know.
And won't fucking change anything.
No. The storm is coming. You don't have time for it.
Yeah.
Don't
you
worry
don't
about
have
that
enough
stuff.
time to change anything.
Go be real with your friends and family.
Yeah. Go spend some quality time with the people you love. Get off fucking social media and stop spending hours on there. One of the things I got to talking to with Jeff and Susie this afternoon in our little chat was doom scrolling. How to get away from doom scrolling. And
I did that so bad before I quit.
So I told them, I said, the way I get away from doom scrolling, like, I will do it at work because I'm at work. I'm getting paid to doom scroll.
Yeah, you're bored.
And I'm bored and I have nothing to do. That's fine. I'll doom scroll. You know what? You don't like it, AT&T, get rid of me. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter anyway. You're about to be wiped off the planet Earth. But the doom scrolling thing is, it's one of those things that in my downtime, I'll sit there and do at work. When I'm not at work, I've always got something going on. I'm always busy. I've always got my mind doing something. I'm editing photos. I'm doing this. I'm
your
doing
problem
that.
is totally opposite of most of the population.
What,
you know that?
They're just bored.
You're at work. You're bored. You can't do anything, and that's when you start doom scrolling. Where my problem was
reversed. You do it at home.
I get home trying to sleep, and next thing I know, I start doom scrolling.
So my advice to them was, okay, always have something going on. You always need to be doing something around the house. There's always something that needs to be done.
That's where I'm at.
No one has ever said, like, there's nothing for me to do at the house right now. There's always something you could be doing or working on.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because that's exactly where I'm at in this experiment. I've gotten to the point where my idle hands have found things to do. I'm doing vocal work.
So
I'm doing stuff around, like you said, I'm doing house projects. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And it's funny, you start remembering when I broke up with social media, which has been recent, and
you're like 3 or 4 weeks out.
Right. So I'm still an infant.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to realize the things that I liked before the social media craze took over the planet. And it's amazing.
Coming back.
And it's all coming back. Like, all of a sudden, I'm like, man, what did I just say before the show? Hey, Monday nights, we need to start doing this.
Yeah.
That probably would never have, even though I found that via Instagram.
See, that's the one,
but
the one and the one
discover.
only I probably won't get rid of
Instagram.
It's Instagram. I don't even get on Twitter anymore. Facebook is now going to be just pushed aside. Instagram has too much of what I do tied into it, and I have too much stuff coming through that. Like Instagram has brought me a bunch of work
yeah.
and a bunch of I have been in contact with a bunch of PR people, bands, and I'm not talking local bands. I mean national bands. You know, PR people like Ministry on on Thursday. I got it last minute. You know, sent from their PR was like, hey, will you go shoot Ministry? This is the first show of the tour. We need great pictures. We need this and that.
Mhm.
Yes, I'll go do it.
That was through Instagram or Facebook.
Well, I know that PR company through Instagram. They sent me an email direct. Then,
Gotcha.
you know, I sent it back. I got an email from Al. I didn't talk about that yet. I got an email
Is that
from
in
Al.
the show notes.
No, I forgot.
Uncle
to put it in
Al?
from Uncle Al, who loved the photos and loved the review. So I want to talk to you about this off the air.
Me?
Yeah, I want to talk to you about this off the air. But anyway, he offered me heroin. No, I'm just kidding.
Did he fuck a chicken?
He's sober. No, he did not fucking chicken. That documentary was weird. Anyway, so I will never get rid of Instagram. That's one of the things. But Facebook is a cesspool of shit. And I've
Yes.
noticed that in the past 2 weeks, all of a sudden Facebook is trying to get me to join all these different groups that I have no fucking interest in joining or being a part of. But it's I will have a post from someone, then join this group when I open it. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that group. I don't need to join a Barbie house makers group at all. I don't care.
I noticed that around the elections, and all of a sudden, like, I would look something up, and then I'd get just berated with, like, join the Proud Boys, protect this country.
I got a lot of
the
that when
Patriot
we were
Front
trying
and
to
all
figure
that.
out,
You're
like,
whoa, hey, this is not what I
was
want
the
to
one
see.
that was based here, the Patriot Front stuff?
Yeah.
Was that it? What it was called? But it was like, all of a sudden you start getting this Patriot Front stuff. Like, I don't want this stuff.
I'm
I'm
not a
just trying to
Peggy.
see. Yeah, I'm
Not to
trying
go
to
back
see,
to
like,
Far Cry.
they were based in Saginaw or whatever.
Right,
like,
right.
I don't want to, you know.
I'm not a
We're
recruit.
doing stories for the show. It's like looking
Yeah.
at our Spotify list when you go listen to music for the show, and then at the end of the year, they're like, you loved Beyonce. And you're like, no, I don't. I just looking up stuff for the show.
Yeah, exactly.
But they
and that's why it will never.
that's it. Look,
What'd he say?
Rich
who is
was
it?
the other thing. That's the other thing I've got.
What'd he say?
He said they updated something recently because I've been getting random posts from meme pages and random cooking stuff because of work. And we just talked about that for
Yeah.
the show. How I'm all of a sudden I'm getting all this cooking shit. And it's
I'm
like,
getting some weird Indian
I don't-
videos all the time of like this fake ass AI stuff. I'm like, what is this?
I don't need cooking stuff. I didn't ask for this. I'm not looking up cooking. Why am I getting all this cooking stuff? So I'm backing away from Facebook. Fuck it. I'm tired. What's bad is like there are certain people on there that post so much shit that if they post something important or something that's
Boy who cried wolf.
that's cool, like, you know, hey, I want you guys to come see me do this event here, it gets covered up and washed away because if you post 20 memes and then one thing important, guess what doesn't get seen? That one thing that's fucking important.
That's
it gets
exactly
pushed
right.
away. There's several people on there like that. It's not fun anymore
It's
at
not
all.
fun.
It's not
It's
fun.
not fun.
Everybody thinks it's the goddamn Bible.
Yeah.
They think Facebook is the Bible and everything on there needs to be taken 100% literally and 100% like it is the
Yeah.
gospel.
Everybody's
And it's not. It's the fucking internet. Have
everybody's
fun.
lawyers. Everybody's constitutional lawyers. Everybody's legislative. Everybody knows everything about
And everybody
any
is,
kind of doctor.
whatever is the thing that's in the current news cycle, they're the expert on.
Arsonist, this Maui thing.
Oh, everybody's
Everybody's an arsonist investigator.
everybody's a particle beam weapon
right.
specialist.
Yeah. During
Because,
COVID,
you know, a lot of our friends build that shit in their garage.
during COVID, we had all these doctors and amazing brains that knew everything about disease and what do you call it? Biological weapons.
Ads for AI girlfriends, which has me weird. That's true. It's just
It's a cesspool of garbage.
it is. And my friends that I actually like really want to know stuff from, they're not posting it there anymore. They're sending it directly to me.
Yeah.
We all send stuff directly to each other because of that. You don't, well, you're not on Facebook, but you didn't post things on Facebook hoping that I would see.
No, I'd tag you if I wanted you to see it.
Yeah. We send stuff we send links to each other through, like, you and I and Jeremy have a chat thread,
And a text thread
and a text thread,
that gets out of
and
control.
a messenger thread, and a Telegram thread, and a whatever. We have a WhatsApp thread. We have threads on every
We had
fucking
a red
thing in the
alert
world
this morning too.
and we get stuff, and it's funny because we send shit to each other through everything. And I would rather have it that way. I don't give a fuck what's on my wall, and I don't give a fuck about what these people are saying. And it brings me to the point that, like, that with this doom scrolling thing, if you need to break away from it, here are 3 things I'm going to tell you.
It's camping
I'm going
season.
to tell you 4 things. All right, let's add 5. 5 things to get away from doom scrolling. Number 1, go camping somewhere where there's no fucking service.
There you go.
How much fun did we have in Big Bend?
I think, man, I'm already trying to figure out a time we can go back as soon as the weather turns.
Oh, November is usually a good time to go.
Well, there's a girl trip, a sister trip that my wife's going on
Mm-hmm.
in October, and I'm like, could Dustin and I break out to Big Bend, do a guys deal, bleach our buttholes?
Bleach our buttholes, go out there and just point them at aliens. Maybe they'll give us the star score. Hey. So go camping. Go out there in the middle of nowhere.
Camping is
That's
a good one.
the number 1 doom scroll.
I'm
Boom.
going to write these down or type these down.
Keep these, or like I said earlier, keep your hands busy. You have a house. There's always something to do, rather it be working on the house, working around the house to keep it clean, sorting things, straightening things. Not everybody wants to, you can sit down and just watch TV and throw your fucking phone away if you need that.
I'm going to put work on your domicile because not everyone owns their house.
Yeah, you may live in a van, but engines can always be worked on, right?
That's right.
So, number 3, and this is a big one because this is something.
Sex.
That was a big one. Sex. Put sex in there.
Yeah, sex is number
Because sex
3.
was going to be one because it's really rude to doom scroll while you're having sex. I mean, that's just the shittiest thing you can do, right? Number 4 is, and this is something that a lot of psychologists are saying to do since there's an Adderall shortage right now for ADHD people, play video games.
Play video games. I'm in the middle of Far Cry right now, and I love it.
But
It's helping me with the vocals of a project, actually.
Look who chimed in the chat room.
Uh-oh. Am I in trouble?
Mandy, for my inaugural listen/chat submission, I would like to say Matt Stubbs needs to stop doom watching TV.
That's true. She's absolutely right.
Also, the housework would be
I've fallen
good.
back in the trap of... Did she say the housework would be good?
Yes.
Genius.
Gold. So, yes.
The play video games, though,
Doctors are telling
there's so
people
many
with
cool games right now.
ADHD kids, since you can't get a hold of Adderall, and even ADHD adults, they're recommending to sit down and play video games for a little bit to help your mind either calm down or stimulate it.
Yeah, you need puzzles.
And
puzzles.
to keep you busy. Number 5, I actually have 6 here. Actually, I can give you 6. Number 5, what I recommended to them, if you're just sitting there watching TV and you feel the urge to reach for your phone, watch something that has multi-language in it.
There you go. Learn some, yeah.
Well, you're
Learn
not
some
learning the
language.
language, but you have to watch the TV
And read it.
and read it to understand what's going on. Like, before we started the show, I was just chilling out in the house watching The Tomb of Sargera or something on Netflix, and there's a lot of Arabic. I don't know Arabic, so I have to read the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept me from looking at my phone or my laptop or anything because I have
Right.
to sit there and watch it. And the last one, was
You got camping, work on your domicile, sex, play video games, especially the ADD and ADHD people.
See,
I got one.
My ADD just kicked in.
I got one.
Okay,
Can I throw it in on
throw
your
it in
list?
there while I'm thinking of my 7th.
Art.
Oh yeah, but that could be anything. Music. Oh, I know what my seventh one was.
Do
yeah, but art.
practice the arts.
Yeah, practice the arts. Throw that in there. You skip the if you're typing these out. Put 6 as the language on that.
Oh, yeah.
on TV.
Yeah. All right, we'll put that back up. Where
The
it belongs.
seventh one, and this was my final one, and this is the nerdiest thing in the world, and I want people to just go with this on me because this really fired back up and started hard during COVID. Trying to find something to do and trying to way to spend time, and I found it so relaxing and so stimulating. Legos.
No, yeah.
Lego sets. I can sit there. That's a good set will take you a few hours. A big set will take you multiple days, and it keeps you from picking up your phone and doom scrolling.
It's also calms you down.
It calms me way down.
I did me too.
Way down.
I haven't done nearly as much as you, but I've done a few things, and though it definitely gets your mind because it's puzzles. It's puzzles, man. It's the same as the video game. We're supposed to be doing that because of Alzheimer's and any kind of mental issues that people develop as they age. They tell you work a puzzle daily, at least one puzzle.
Yeah.
And I would even go one step further than the video games is also do a physical puzzle. Like do an actual puzzle where you got to use your hands and stuff.
That's
do
what
a
Mom
Rubik's
and sister
Cube.
do.
I used to do the Rubik's Cube. Like when my sister passed away, that was my little go-to was I would just be out in the middle of, Cattle Mills in a corner drinking myself to a death. But the way I worked myself out of that habit was the Rubik's Cube. I would just do my Rubik's Cube.
Can you do it without looking now? Can you just?
No, I still got to look at my notes every once in a while.
Because there is a pattern, right?
Yeah, you can memorize the algorithms.
Isn't it up?
No, it's not up, down, left.
No.
Left.
There's you take the far left, you go up, then
It's
the top right, up, right, up,
the,
right, up, right.
Well, it depends
then
on
down.
It depends on what stage you're at in solving the thing.
I thought it was if it's completely
from
mixed, you can do one pattern over and over and over. That's how those people do it without looking.
The fast patterns I never really did. I did the cross pattern where you start off with your cross on top, and then you flip it, do the cross on the bottom, and kind of go from there.
And work your way.
But I never got to. I mean, I imagine if I kept doing it, I'd probably get to where I had. There's a few of the algorithms that I have memorized to solve some of the pieces, but to memorize all of them, you have to bleach your taint for that.
Probably so.
But what was that last? You said the last one. What was it again?
Legos.
This is a great segment, man. So we got camping.
Yeah, we were talking about this through chat, and I was like, I'm bringing this up on the show tonight.
Work on your domicile. Sex. Play video games, especially ADD and ADHD kids.
Recommended by doctors.
Put closed captioning on the TV and watch a dual language show. Practice the arts. Legos, man.
Yep.
Yeah, anything to exercise your brain is a good way to get away from doom scrolling. Read a book. There's a novel idea. No pun intended.
Problem with me reading, this is always happening. It puts me to sleep really quick.
I'm having some sleep issues right now.
You start reading and you're like,
yeah, Mandy and I are trying to figure out a way to work this thing out. And
the Kama Sutra that puts you to sleep.
Well, that's yes.
Oh.
We're working our way through the book. But anyway, last night I was wired up, and I'm also quitting drinking. Like, you know how you have that 2 weeks after you quit drinking.
I love Mandy in the chat room. This is great. This is awesome.
Man, now I lost my train of thought because I'm thinking about Mandy and the Kama Sutra.
And sex being moved to number one.
Moved to number one. The quitting drinking has really. I've never been. This is the worst. I think my body's been addicted to alcohol. I've had some like the other night when we got done with the show. I went home and I was playing Far Cry, trying to wind down and stuff, and I passed out. I literally laid in front of a fan because and
are you going through real withdrawals?
Yes, I remember when I was shaking the last time I hadn't done it in a while. I hadn't drank in a while, and I said I gotta have a drink of whiskey. But I'm starting to get to the point where I shake and stuff when I quit cold turkey. And I had a nurse girlfriend once that told me you cannot if you've been drinking for as long as you have, which you and I have been drinking since we're fucking in our
But
13, 14 years old.
Hold on. I don't drink every day.
Yeah, well,
I will drink
the
like Friday, Saturday, and on Tuesday I'll have a beer or
I think
whatever whiskey in here.
my
but-
point is, I think with age, it
Yeah, it
becomes
gets worse.
harder and harder to let go of alcohol, and it's affected my sleep. So that was one of the things that I thought of was because I'm keeping Mandy up, and she doesn't deserve that. Like the fact that I'm a nut and can survive off of 4 hours of sleep doesn't mean she can.
You don't need like ejaculate and then immediately go to sleep.
That's what we did last night.
So I mean, that's the big secret. If you have someone that will,
Yeah, those endorphins help.
that's why
you.
sex goes to number one.
Right. But the book is what I thought I'd start doing is just maybe shutting everything down an hour before I plan on going to sleep and just reading.
My problem is with a book, I'll start reading
Go
a
look
lot.
shit up.
No, but then I'll start passing out, and then I have to go back like a page and start back over. And be like, what happened? Oh, yeah, because my brain will start getting tired. I'm starting to yawn just thinking about it.
I still haven't finished the Millennium Falcon book.
I got Death Star in there. I need to read.
Yeah, and I'm in the middle of 48 Laws of Power. I still haven't finished that. I still got the 5 a.m. Club that I'm like 3 chapters. I got a lot of reading I need to do.
I need to read for the 8th time. Never mind.
The
Industrial Society and its
Pirates.
future.
Mein Kampf.
I don't know if I won't say who sent me a message that they're like, I finally fucking read that because I keep saying it like in our text messages to this person and
I don't.
You know this person. They sat in this studio for
Yeah.
a while at one time when we first started out.
I don't like reading it because there's so many things that are spot on.
Well, that's what he's like. You joked about this for years that is one of the best things to read, and he's like, I fucking read it, and that's dead on.
Yeah.
And money. He's like, that's not crazy man talk. I was like, no, it's not. And I was like, and that was 30 years ago,
Guy was genius.
and he foresaw everything. Kind of like
We were just talking,
Foundation.
dude. that's watch Foundation. There you go.
That'll wear you out.
Yeah, you want your brain to get tired? Watch Foundation.
I want to read the books now.
How many are there?
I don't know. I will
See, I'm
not
like you.
look at
I'm
anything.
I'm
I
doing
know
the
it's
same
from
exact thing,
books.
too.
I don't want to look at
When I
anything.
sent you that sleeper question, I was like,
Yeah.
I could just look this up, and I was like, nope, don't do
Yeah.
it. Don't
Yes.
do it.
We're talking about Unabomber. But
Oh
yes,
yes. How far are
RoboTuner's
you?
on it. He's only watched the first episode.
Oh man, you got to keep going, dude.
You got to.
Do you think the first episode was a trip?
Yeah, it's crazy. That
Have you listened to the podcast any?
no, and I've wondered
Since
about
I'm
it.
caught up, I'm thinking I might. But I definitely am curious about the books because I'd like to read them. And it's triggered a whole nother Foundation has triggered a whole nother interest of mine, and that is of the sacred geometry and mathematics. It has completely opened up my brain to that. I've started reading on that and the way Danny Carey sets his drums up. It's just
you're what is it, the hexahedron?
yeah,
You're all into the hexahedron
yeah, and then Hamilton's tattoo.
on his hand.
like-
That's the hexahedron.
I feel
that's
like
on
I'm
his
turning
hand.
into Shauna.
And then you have the weird, the Flower of Life, which is on the Bring Me the Horizon album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That didn't Coldplay and them try to fight about that, and I'm like, dude, guys, it's a symbol that's been around.
It's a symbol that's been around forever, and
Why is
y'all are
Coldplay?
in two different realms of
Why are y'all
music.
fighting?
And then
Get-
who would known that Bring Me the Horizon turned into Coldplay?
Genius.
They kinda
That's when
did.
it all happened.
They went from
They tricked themselves.
alligator to that.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
They
And
turned into
You know
Coldplay.
what? I bet you there was too much social media use by both bands.
So I sent Susie down the first season of True Detective.
There you go. That'll get you thinking too.
I forgot how
Time is a
heavy.
flat circle.
How heavy? Like we watched that first
Has
episode.
she watched season 3?
No, we just one. We've just watched one. We're baby stepping it here, getting ready for 4.
So she hasn't seen the greatest line ever made.
That's in 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we watched the first one, and I forgot. Like in my head, I've seen it. This was probably like my 7th, 8th, 9th trip through it. And I forgot how heavy the first episode was. I thought it was spread out more
Yeah.
over the first 3 episodes, and I was like, "Fuck!" You know, the tree scene is, of course, what kicks everything off. But just how, when you're watching it at first, you're like, "What is going on?" He's young here. He looks like shit here. Like, it doesn't all kind of start forming until the end of that episode, and I was like, "Fuck." There's so much shit in that episode that's so heavy.
See, that's the thing about True
Makes
Detective,
things
though.
so
You could
crazy.
kind of keep up with that with the way they look. Foundation, they keep the same look. And you're like, what is going on here? What time am I in? Where? How many hundreds of years have passed?
Which dawn is this?
Yeah, wait
Which
a
day
second.
is this?
Is this fake
And
dawn?
Which dusk is this?
Is this fake dawn or real dawn?
Yeah. Now, what's going on?
Yeah, it's like, goodness gracious, man.
That's fucking genius, though. You keep the same actors, but they change
Save money.
pitch. They
Yeah.
change the way they think about things. And I was like, that's goddamn genius.
Yeah.
And then you have clones and all that.
The
and-
show is genius. The
It's
writer,
great.
whoever wrote it, the writer,
Yeah.
it's a genius
so
story.
out of
It's
control.
probably the most insane sci-fi thing I've ever been into, ever. And it
makes
encompasses
Dune
everything.
look like meh.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean that in a great way. Dune's fucking awesome, and Dune was from books, and Dune is super depth, full of depth and all this stuff. But Foundation just takes it to a next level where you're like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, check this out. I started Ahsoka. I'm like,
All right.
because guess what I've been watching? Foundation.
So I started Ahsoka as soon as we ended the show last week.
Yeah.
While I was uploading the
That's
show.
when I started it.
It's season 5 of Rebels,
Yeah.
and I
It
like
has a lot
how
of Rebel
everything's
ties.
going. But man, there's some fucking bullshit in that first episode that pissed me off. I'm gonna roll with it, just cause.
So yeah, that's kind of what I'm
I'm gonna
doing.
roll with it. But
Do you think it's coming? wi-
spoilers, if you haven't seen it. But how the fuck did Sabine live through that? And no one else? I mean, a few people have, but is it because, like, everybody's like, well, then if she lived through it, why didn't Qui-Gon? It's the same injury.
Yeah.
But is it because so many years have passed and medical technology has changed to where they can save people? I guess you cut Darth
Well,
Maul in half and he
How
comes
far
back.
is it a jump from Han when he gets by Kylo? Same injury.
That's after all this.
Was it?
Yeah. That's
Okay,
after
because
all
this is
this.
still the remnants of the old Republic, right?
This is the alliance is just won.
That's right.
The Battle of Endor has finished, and the
So we've learned how to.
Republic is building.
So we know how to hyperdrive into different galaxies and rims of the galaxy,
Yeah,
but we don't know how to fix a broken bones of a horse because we're not going to spoil
Exactly.
it.
but this is basically the same time pattern as Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and this are all right around the same 8 years after or whatever.
Yeah.
Or right
I'm
after
sticking
that
with
one.
it too. I think it's coming on the heels of so many badass shows that I've been watching because Lioness is still good. I'm still on it.
I'm caught up now again,
Me too.
and the Linus.
I thought it was about to get really hokey with that scene where the guys accidentally broke into the safe house that they're. I was like, that's
That was
cheese
funny
dick.
as fuck.
But it was funny.
was great.
It was funny, but I was like, come on,
So
don't start doing your Sheridan overthinking things and write yourself into some bullshit like you did.
the San Antonio thing
Where are
pissed
we
me off.
going?
The whole San
Is Mandy still
Antonio,
listening? Where are we going?
the San Antonio thing pissed me off because the whole time that happened, I was like, this is some fucking shit that's really fucking happened in life.
No.
People don't write shit in movies just for the hell of it. There was too many details that were spot on about doing certain things.
Yeah.
That this has had to have happened in the past.
Do you like the little them writing in the little shots at the FBI constantly?
Oh yeah,
And
CIA hates
it's-
FBI.
it-
That's what's great. The CIA hates the FBI. The
Which-
FBI hates the CIA,
One more thing on Linus, and then we'll
and they
move to-
all hate
we'll
Homeland
go,
Security.
We'll go back to the show notes and do TV later. But What did you think about that private or that jet, that flat black jet? Whew.
Why can't I have a blacked out? Well, if I
Dude.
ever fall into money, I'm having a flat
looks
black
sweet.
blacked
Yeah,
out Learjet.
Yeah, that thing was awesome.
That thing was bad. When I was pulling away, I was like,
Dude,
that
man,
thing is still.
imagine we get flown up to New York for some podcast convention by Joe Rogan. I'm going to be like, and that thing pulls up. You guys take that off in the sweet jumps.
But
thing looks
I also like that
badass.
they got off. Did they get off the Learjet? The special forces team, and they're all
when
yelling
they're,
at the
they're being
the Air
shitty
Force
to the
guys.
Air
They're
Force
just being
guys.
shitty. Like,
The guy that outranks them, they're like, fuck you.
fuck you. You don't matter. You don't know. That's funny. Next in the show notes, I wanted to throw this out there. The best podcast on the internet right now is 60 Songs That Explain the 90s.
You keep telling me about
Rob
it, and I
Harvella.
keep meaning to start it, and I forget it.
It's
I
now
walk out,
jumped
and then my
to
brain gets deleted.
120 songs that explain the 90s. He's carried it on because he couldn't just stay with 60 songs. It's too good of a podcast. They're going to 120, and he says he'll stop at 120. He said he would stop at 90, then they put another 30, and now it's 120. This week was U2 and 1.
Oh man, I gotta watch that for sure.
It's great.
Is BB King
They're
in it?
freaking great. No, I don't think so. I don't remember.
Remember
BB King
when BB King
in
was
the
talking
videos?
with? He was talking about Bono and how he has an old soul, and
They do talk
the
about
documentary.
how Axl Rose listened to that song and broke down.
Have you seen the
Freaked
meme
out.
of Axl Rose and Benny Hill
No,
side by side?
I can see them looking like each other though. That makes sense.
It's amazing. He has to have some Benny Hill DNA in him.
You want to go see Guns N' Roses in San Antonio?
When is it?
A couple months. I can
Is
put in
Slash
for
still
it.
playing with them? And
It's
Duff?
still a real band, yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's everybody but Ding Dong.
Who's playing with them this time?
Not Cold.
I'm out.
I can put in for it. We just have to go down to San Antonio and see it. So the 60 songs that explain the 90s. If you're not listening to that show, you're doing yourself a big discredit. You're not doing yourself disservice. You're not doing yourself a favor. You need to listen to the show. It's great. And you don't have to listen to every episode, although Rob goes down these crazy ass paths. Like, even though there's an artist like Mary J. Blige, I don't give a shit about Mary J.
I
Blige.
like Mary J. Blige.
I don't.
I was heavily into her.
For reasons that weren't.
No, I liked her music too, man.
I wasn't.
she was pretty
I
dope,
wasn't ever
yo.
into her. But I listened to that episode because there's so much other shit he talks about in these episodes
That you remember.
that then bring it back
Mhm.
because it's more about that era and what led to that era. Or he also has personal stories of like when he was a kid and why this applies, and blah, 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 blah. It's great. The Pantera episode's fucking awesome. You need to listen to that one first. It's great.
Terra.
But he kind of talked about in this U2 episode about another show called Bandsplain that's part of their network. And so I went over and I was looking through Bandsplain and I found this episode. And this girl, basically the show is about, explain to me why this album, this band, this whatever is good. Why do they
Why
get
do
all
peop-
this talk? Why do
Please
people
tell me
talk
the
about
first
this?
episode's on Linkin Park.
I don't know what the first episode is, but the one I went and listened to as I scrolled through that caught my eye was Judgment Night, the Judgment Night soundtrack.
Why did she not like that?
It's not that she didn't like it; it was they discuss how it got so big and why, what brought all these bands together to do this, because that was really, they all say that was the forefront of the rock rap thing, that that's what brought everything together. Going through there, they're talking about the soundtrack and who was supposed to be on there and who wasn't, and why everybody wanted to do a song with Cypress Hill. The Cypress Hill Pearl Jam song, there's no Eddie Vedder because he didn't show up because he thought it was stupid. Blah, 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 blah.
That's why Eddie didn't show up.
Yeah, he thought the whole concept was dumb.
We got a Pearl Jam
Waste of
show to
time.
go to pretty soon.
In 2 weeks, Pearl Jam. What blew my mind, I've listened to that soundtrack for years, never knew, is that Tool and Rage Against the Machine were supposed to be on it. And the demo is floating around on YouTube, and it's called Resistance, and it's a real demo. It's like someone threw something down in their practice studio and they're fleshing it out. Yeah, it's interesting to hear, but I had no idea.
Adam Jones were such good friends. Didn't they go to the same high school?
I think so, and Maynard's on the first Tool or Rage Against the Machine record, and they've done stuff. They've toured together. They've done stuff together on stage together. Like Zach would come out during Tool shows and do this whole poem and speech, but the Robotuner says they grew up together in Illinois. But to hear this song was really interesting. It's a shit song. It's not fully fleshed out, but it's like, man, if this was on that soundtrack, that would have been cool.
I've always wanted to do a rap metal album. I've always wanted to do that. Maybe now that I'm doing actual, like I'm getting off of the social medias, not to go back to something else, maybe I can throw a few demos and send them over to you of some ideas that I've
had. I can rap on them because my rhymes.
Dude, Johnson and I were this close to gearing Steadfast towards that because it was right when POD came out, and I'd always wanted to do it since Faith No More.
It would have turned into click, click, boom.
Yeah, that's exactly what would have happened, probably. But we had a name.
Boom. What was it?
Slip Disc.
Oh, yeah, you told me that. That was pretty good. But, we have a bunch of friends now that are real rappers that do real stuff.
Yeah.
That you could probably be like, hey, come guest on this track I made. Let's see what happens.
Well, dude, I'd roll the tape on my Steadfast when I rapped. I bet you'd be like, damn, I didn't know Stubbs could do that.
On which one?
Well, it's on video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I didn't do anything on. I was like, recorded.
Thinking of the record, and I was like, I don't remember anything.
No, it was. We did a bridge of one song live. We started doing it towards the end of Steadfast when I wasn't playing guitar, and there was a few bars spit. Of course, it was heavily influenced by Pink Maggot, but
I think I still have a drunk voicemail recording I recorded on cassette of Stubbs and Johnson drunk rapping. That needs to see the light of day.
No, it probably does not.
That needs to see the light of day. Unless it's racist.
I guarantee you it's probably not woke. It's probably very disrespectful to
women.
Strippers. Don't ever let that see the light of day, Robert.
If it's not disrespectful, it needs to see the light of day. We need to see it. But if not...
I think we were rapping trying to get him to come over, or we were rapping about his wife at the time. I think we were rapping about your wife, weren't we? At the time, Thomas. I'm sorry, Tuner. I forgot we use fake names here.
But it's pretty interesting. I think if you wanted to do that, you could do that today. We have enough friends that would come in and do that.
Do you think so? Because I always think that no one would want to be a part of it.
No, you could pull them in and they would do something.
Because
I honestly believe these guys, the guys we're friends with, they would do it because I'm not gonna just. They do it because it's us. I hate tooting our own horn like that, but they would do it because it's us. But they would also do it just because they love doing stuff like that. They've said it.
Well, hey, put the word out. Anybody that wants to be on Dustin and my rap metal album, we'll do 5 songs. What do you want to do? 5 songs?
Yeah. Yeah, we can do 5 songs.
We got to have a cool name though, like Run the Jewels.
I think that's already used.
Run the Tools.
Run the Tools was awesome, and I wish I could find that mix because that was great.
Who's going to be our DJ? If you're rapping and I'm rapping, who's going to be our DJ?
Tamasu.
Where's Tamasu?
I don't know.
Is he in there?
He's not in there.
Oh, you mean our DJ? You want
Hello, I'm still here.
You want him to be our DJ?
I want him to be our DJ. Tamasu, will you come in and be our DJ? Hello, my Tamasu.
He's probably locked out. I will be rapping for you today.
Where is that? That is so great.
Hello, my name is. It's right where the you put it in the eggs that talk. Remember that one?
Yeah.
It's wherever those are at.
I'm still here. Hello?
Hello? I will be rapping for you today.
I thought I had Tamasu's stuff loaded in here. God, that was so great. Hello, my time. I thought I saw, and I have a day.
I will be rapping for you today. Heck the
Whatever
chain.
happened to him?
We in a gang. He's man. That's that gangster life, dude.
No, but
You don't know about Daft Pistols.
where do you? Neither did the Fort Worth Weekly. Golly. Maybe that's why they hate us.
We should have done it back then. This rap metal album and
Here it is.
back there it is.
Hello, my name is Dama Too. I'm going to be rapping for you today. Microphone phone check 1 2 1 2 in the place to be.
What is that song?
My name is Dama Too. I'm going to be rapping for you today. Microphone phone check 1 2 1 2 in the place to be.
Probably something he put together in the prison. Got some auto tune.
We need Tamasu at bat. He needs to make an appearance on at least one song.
Hello? I'm still here.
I bet you we could make that happen.
You know, he'd be a great rapper.
Fuck you!
He'll do songs about strippers.
I will eat my neighbors.
Gay frogs.
Oh, wait, no.
Gay frogs.
He'll do songs about strippers.
I will eat your ass.
Good gosh almighty. I've got loved ones that listen to this show.
I am sorry for those loved ones.
It was very
There's a big
JW
listener
review.
description, this thing at the beginning of the
A
show.
warning?
A warning.
Hello, my name is Tama. Hello, my
All right.
name is Tama. Yeah, but
Use pige mite segundo.
That's rap, right?
I think that is.
I think it is.
I wonder if I offered her $3,000 if she could repeat that. If she would,
By word for word.
word, if she could repeat that. No way.
I remember that night sitting by a pool watching fireworks on 4th of July.
After we interviewed lesbian cops.
A lesbian Northerton Hills cop.
Yeah.
That was a great night.
Not well. Maybe for you. I think I fell through a bush or something.
I fell in the pool a couple of times,
I think
fully
I s-
dressed.
My scrotum got damaged.
Well, that's post. I don't know what the hell that's about. Anyway, one more thing. I don't know why this is up here. Have you seen the shit about September 23rd?
The fall
Floating
equinox?
around?
No.
It
What's
is
up?
fall equinox. September 23rd is fall equinox, but there's a whole movement going
My
around.
favorite time of year, man.
That's the day the world's going to end. And it's cracking me up.
23, huh?
Yeah, if you put 23 to 023. So if you take the 2 and the 3, that's 6. If you take the 3 and the 2, that's 6. If you skip the 0 and do 2 and 3, that's 6.
So it didn't have anything to do with Greta Thunberg or anything.
No, they think this is the day that the number of the
beast.
beast will rise and we will see the death, on a black horse coming to do whatever.
Oh, one of the
and
4 horsemen show up.
One of the 4 horsemen will show up. It's the end of the show, end of the year, and I was going to bring that up,
I
Rich.
certainly hope it will.
That is also the day of Andrew's big show, his anniversary
Oh,
show
no.
at Pouring Glory. So that's another reason the world's going to end.
Cancel the show, Andrew. Cancel
would
the
be-
show.
I would definitely, if you're going down there to Pouring Glory, I'd definitely have a bunch of food, a bunch of water, guns and ammo, and be prepped because you may be fighting your
Take
way
an
back to
energy
your loved
bar with
ones.
you.
Take an energy bar, yeah. Get ready. It's just weird because this popped up about 3 weeks ago. This is another reason I'm getting away from Facebook. I have a associate. They're not even a friend. They're just like someone I know. They posted this whole long thing, and there was like 40 people that commented on it, like, you're right, I've seen all this stuff everywhere, blah, blah, blah. So I'm looking through, and then I hop on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you want to call it these days, and there's a whole thing. These people have put together this montage of how the Simpsons have said that September
Well, then it's got to be true.
23rd, 2023 is the end of the world.
What did Idiocracy say? That's what I'd
How-
like to know.
Well, there's so many movies that have used September 23rd as a date for some
Yeah,
reason.
but they remember there was a lot of 2012 too that was
the
going
Mayan
around.
calendar and all
Yeah.
that. I think it's full of shit, but that's just me.
I think no man knows the date. I think that's
That's the way it says. That's what it says in the Bible. If you go by
Right,
the Bible, it
and
says no man knows the
I'd
day.
rather go with the Bible than
It'll
some
come like a-
slap dick on Facebook
I'd rather
that's
it,
pissed off
it'll
at
come as
metal
a thief in
bands
the
and
night.
DFW.
Yeah. That speaks Cantonese.
Right. Yeah, that I don't give much credit to or any kind of real thought into just random. This date's gonna be it because it's been disproven so many times. Nostradamus predicted a ton of shit, but he missed the ball.
Is Cantonese in Babel? Like, can you use it? Can you
I
learn?
think it's in tongue.
Can you learn to read it? Is there an app?
Man, I'm gonna tread lightly on this.
I was just wondering. I
think I'm gonna
have
tread
to go
lightly
look.
on this
I'm gonna go look.
Cantonese speak you speak of.
Well, it's just a language. I don't understand.
I just don't
it.
want to get in trouble by
Language for life.
female friends.
Babel.com. Let me go look through here and see.
You're gonna see if there's a master class on it.
There's more: Spanish, French, German, Italian, Russian,
Is there a
Portuguese,
Duolingo?
Turkish, Dutch, Swedish, Polish, Norwegian, Indonesian, Danish. No Cantonese.
You got to go to Southside to figure that out.
I don't even know. Yeah, probably. Gotta go hang around. Never mind.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna walk around the house on this one.
You're gonna.
I'm gonna go around to the back.
Well, maybe one day I'll be fluent in Cantonese. That's what I'm afraid of. If I stay on Facebook, I will become fluent in Cantonese. I won't. I'll be like, what? How do I know this?
Why do I know this language?
Why?
Oh, it's been spoke to me every time I go to Southside. When I go to the chat room, I'm just flooded, inundated with.
You said the place I wasn't gonna say.
Oh, my bad. I
So
got
yeah,
love for the chat.
the end of the world is going to be on September 23rd.
REM will be playing.
Apparently, so everybody prepared.
So it's not a
There's
religious
all this
person
stuff
or anything, or
as-
a cult that said it. It's some just random.
Well, there's a
dipshit.
bunch of religious stuff. They're what is the new COVID
I
is
follow
called
the math now.
Eris is
What?
the new name, and that
I
is
saw someone
the wife
canceled
of
the
Mars
show this week because of COVID, and it was one of the guys. It's someone that's been in here.
No, it was a friend of ours.
So are we doing that again? We're gonna
Well, I mean, if you're sick, you can't play a show.
but is COVID going around? Does anybody know
Yes.
anybody in
There
the
it is.
chat room?
Eris is the goddess of chaos. She was married to Mars.
Yeah, I was married to her a few years ago.
I'm still here.
Hey, does anybody know? Or a serious question with the end of the world talk and stuff. Does anyone know anyone that has gotten COVID in the last 2 weeks? Because I'm seeing all this stuff about how we're about to start having to wear masks on the plane again, and that we're about
Kentucky is already put into play school from home,
I kind of think it's just the elections are coming up,
and
but
they say it's affecting northern states where it's cooler.
So there is another
closer by
strain.
This Eris strain is the one, and she's the goddess of chaos. And Eris is a big player in this whole September 23rd crap. If you start looking it up, there'll be people who be like, well, this Eris is going to cause all sorts of problems. It's going to take over the world.
was
and this is where
Eris made in a lab?
I don't think goddesses are made in a lab unless they're AI. But
Now, that could be it.
well,
The way AI is
so
escalating.
if you go and look this up, there's several people saying that it'll be when the government shuts everything down will be September 23rd, or there will be a nuclear attack on September 23rd, or
Does anyone say who's attacking who, or
No.
does it matter at that point?
that everything just breaks down on September 23rd, or that the rapture and the end of the world and Armageddon will all happen on September 23rd. If you look at the religious people,
I've studied the Bible in high school.
I
and
never
I've
saw
never
September
saw anything
23rd.
about September 23rd.
I've gone through Revelation quite a bit.
Manders, are you still listening?
Is September 23rd in Revelation? I don't think so.
Diet Dr. Pepper is.
And there is
Just had to throw it. Because isn't it
Throw your-
23?
throw
No,
your-
it's 2 and 3. Wait. What is
10, 2, and 4.
it? 10. Oh, well, wrong again.
There's a Tool song about it, 10, 2, and 4.
I think that's when the world's going to end. October 2nd, 2024.
There you go. And then there's the military diehards that think this is when war is going to break out and it's all going to be the Bible sponsor. Throw your diet a curve, Diet Dr. Pepper.
Hey, Diet Dr. Pepper's also sponsoring a ZZ Top Christian band called, what was it? I forgot the name of the band.
ZZ Talk.
ZZ Talk, yeah, ZZ Talk.
DC Talk. ZZ Talk.
ZZ Talk in the first concert, they'll play their first single.
September 23rd.
She's Got Plagues.
She's got plagues. How fucked up were we that night?
Was that in Vegas?
No, that was coming back from Austin. It started in. Did it start?
It's such a genius idea. I want to sell it to Doty and be like, look, man, I got a good cover band idea for you.
Did it start at like 4 in the
ZZ Talk.
morning in Jeremy's house?
Probably.
And we started there and then it continued on the road?
ZZ Talk, man.
ZZ Talk.
That's going to be our next project. Screw the rap metal.
It's He's Got Plagues.
Oh,
He's Got Plagues.
He's Got Plagues, yeah.
Yes, it started at his house in the middle of the night.
What was some of the other titles?
I don't know. We were all
Tuner
out of control.
You remember everything. There was
He does.
pocket full of offering full of change. Sharp dressed
what?
Rapist, sir?
Sharp dressed what?
What?
Sharp dressed priest.
Oh,
Pocket full of sin. What was the one that was the playoff? Just got paid. He's got plagues.
Just got done praying today.
Just
got prayed today.
Just got prayed. That's
Just
what it
got
was.
prayed.
Yeah.
Golly, man, what a genius! What a genius comedy skit we never followed through.
A religious
ZZ Top.
ZZ Top. Wine drinkers and bread eaters. Yes, anything that have to do
The
with
beards
the final.
are mandatory too,
Yeah.
and except we have robes too.
Yeah, we need to go through and we need to make some more songs to that set list. Give me all your tithings.
That's
I forgot about that.
Give me all your tithings.
All your prayers and something. We had it in the car.
It's I don't see how a youth
All
minister
your
hasn't
prayers and nothing to
done that.
It's easy.
Yeah,
That's the easiest
it's a
stuff to
toss-up.
do.
It's a softball toss-up. A youth
Totally.
minister of Southside Baptist Church, for sure, has done this at some point, right?
The one that's right next to chat.
I saw some Yeah,
Does that church speak Cantonese?
No, that church. They're probably one of these September 23rd churches. Isn't that where Jeffrey Lord goes?
I don't know.
It might be Peggy's.
I just drive around and look at church.
Is that a Peggy church?
When I see a church out in rural,
It's
middle
a
of
Peggy
nowhere,
church.
in my head I go,
It's Peggy's.
"What those are Peggy's?"
Man, we're gonna have to wear bulletproof vests soon when we
we
go out.
should have like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Just say yes, and your firstborn child too. That's right. God.
Lawful
Welcome
but
to the
awful.
bliss.
What is this?
All right. So this is something that's been going around for a few years, and No Agenda talked about this week and kind of broke it down, and I kind of grabbed it from them.
That's why I haven't heard, because I haven't listened to them in the last week.
So a lot of social media overseas is placing this lawful but awful law on these companies that, yes,
For censorship?
you have content that under law is perfectly fine, but the content that these companies put out is awful.
So it's a form of censorship.
It's a form of censorship. And I have a big feeling, especially if you've listened to the show up to this point, we would fall under that.
Yeah.
And we would eventually get
Because we
shafted upon. We already get shafted upon on Facebook. Facebook already puts up a warning that if you go look up Cherry Jonestown Massacre on Facebook, you get a little box that says, "Are you sure?" Something, violent content, whatever, and it's just a fucking podcast. I've reached out to them multiple times. It goes nowhere. So whatever.
I actually had a friend that got a message about me. Do you want to see Matt Stubbs posting anymore type thing? Like, some people find his post offensive. Do you find it offensive, and do you not want to see it anymore?
I've had that with other
friends. He texted
friends.
to me. I was like, what the heck?
I've had that with other friends too on Facebook. But so this lawful but
Reynolds.
awful content is a law that's kind of being put in place, and that European countries are starting to really put pressure on, and they're starting to require websites, services, businesses that have a certain audience count. So say you have over 50,000 users. They're
Right.
starting to really force this upon them to fit in this mold of this lawful but awful. And basically what it is it's speech that is offensive or morally repugnant to many people, but protected by the First Amendment in this country. Now, on the internet, a lot of countries follow U.S. laws as far as the way things go. That mold is starting to break, and the European countries are starting to be like, well, yes, there is speech in America that is protected by First Amendment, but it's not. It shouldn't be available for other people. So they are censoring it, and they're starting to cramp down. And the bad thing is that if anyone can just say this offends me,
Yeah.
and you're automatically flagged.
This is
or if enough people just say, well, I don't like what they said about this topic, or I don't agree with what they say about this topic.
Yeah.
You're automatically thrown under this flag. And that's one of the things that has made this country great for years is we can all have different thoughts and ideas, and that's what makes shit work. That's why
these people that are claiming they're progressive liberals aren't real liberal progressives, because no liberal progressive that I know that is against free speech. It's all some kind of socialist shit masquerade as a liberal progressive. This is a shot being fired at the likes of Joe Rogan, and we're getting close to elections. I bet you this is not the end of what we hear about this.
Well, it's like I said a few weeks ago, was like what is scaring the fuck out of the media, the MSM, your big channels. No, your big channels as we approach election, your big channels and both parties is how much power alternate media is like podcast have over people.
Well, did you see
or what they say over people? Which, if you truly listen, like Joe Rogan gets a lot of shit. He's a meathead. He's just a fucking jock and blah, 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 blah. That comes from a lot of people that have never listened to him. But if you actually listen to Joe Rogan, he lets any and everybody on there talk their side and talk their shit, unless he will confront them
about bullshit.
If they're full of shit and they're just pouring out bullshit.
Yeah, like Sanjay Gupta when he came on and was just toting trying to play both, talking out of both sides of his mouth.
Totally owned him,
dude.
So
did you see the Tucker Carlson thing? How he had Trump on the same time as the Republican debate, the first
was
Republican
it at the exact same
debate.
time?
I don't know if it was or not, but apparently the numbers for the debate were
shit. No one gives a shit about these debates.
I watched it.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you actually care, or did you just have it on?
Well,
were you actually paying attention?
Remember, I haven't decided if I'm going to vote because I'm so pissed off at the idiots that
Just
voted for
come
Joe
to my
Biden.
side that just, there's no
Well,
one
that's
good.
what I'm. But the thing is, here's the thing. If I think I've told you this before. If the country doesn't give a shit and they don't do their due diligence and they just believe whatever the fuck is tossed at them from CNN and MSNBC, and how Joe Biden was known. I've studied government several times in my life, and in college, I've studied the Constitution. I'm one of those obsessive dudes that goes down rabbit hole like you.
Yeah,
and I've done it on government several times. Joe Biden has always been known as a creep and a fucking liar from day one. He's a terrible politician. He's never done anything good for this country. He's a racist. And the fact that everybody in this country was so pissed off at Trump that they just blindly threw their votes at the fucking worst nominated presidential nomination ever.
His party put him up there just to be a puppet so they could try to control him from behind. I mean, that's
exactly right.
Obvious. You're
exactly right.
So freaking, like, there's all sorts of stories and stuff even coming out from his party that say we put him there to be a cock block for Biden or for Trump.
Yeah.
And to be just a
which is exactly what they're doing this election too.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got sidetracked a little bit, but until the public, the society, and I'm speaking to millennials directly, until they learn how to fucking do their own due diligence and go study these, look at the issues, vote on the issues, look at don't just listen to the garbage echo chambers.
It's not going to happen
on cable until they do that. Show me that there's some kind of gumption to turn the ship around.
It's not
I'm
gonna
not
happen.
voting. I don't need to put in the effort if the millennials are just going to come in and be like, well, shit, TikTok told me to vote for this person.
That's it right there. This era of people that are coming into age of being able to vote and do stuff, they're only going to do what TikTok tells them.
Yeah.
Or what their favorite celebrity, what Kim Kardashian tells them to do, even though that's even too old of a reference. Whatever Taylor Swift tells them to do, whatever.
Yeah, but I still got
We're getting to
interest
that
in it. That's
point,
why
it
I
sucks.
watched it. I watched the debate. I like the Variq, the Sawami Hami. I think he's freaking.
I think I was at Rob Zombie, so I could see it.
Yeah.
Because it was on Thursday, right?
Well, anyway, Tucker Carlson
But I heard about
on
it.
YouTube or on Twitter,
And
X.
did he
apparently
like kind of throw out there that Donald Trump might be assassinated?
Yes, and he also threw out there at the end. He asked
That's
Trump.
very weird.
Did you listen to the interview? Because
I've heard a whole bunch of clips.
They get into Civil War.
They get
Part
into
2
Civil
talk.
War talk, but what threw me off was the the next step to, I mean, they're trying to indict you and all this, and we all know that's not going to hold because of blah blah.
Nothing
blah,
seems
blah,
to
blah.
work.
Nothing
so
seems to
aren't
work.
you worried?
So, what's the next step? To kill you?
Yeah.
It's
No,
like,
he said
whoa.
it like 3 or 4 times. I just watched that today. Dude, check this out. This is more of what I'm talking. What we started the show with. Kids, go find a rock
and hide under it.
Build your house upon a rock. I don't care what kind it is. It
We're
can
gonna
be
get
a
to this
Muslim rock.
story.
It can be a Christian rock. It can be whatever. But go find something to believe in because shit's about to hit the fan.
So we're going to be in this little political realm for a little bit. Then we're going to get to this fun thing we're talking about this rock and why you need to get under it. But quickly, Trump went and turned himself in, got the mugshot and everything.
Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
Yeah.
In Georgia. Did you?
The memes.
The memes are fucking
I love
fantastic.
it.
And having a Brett in his hair, like holding his hair up, the hairpin and everything.
Dude, he is.
In spot in the side shot. But did you see hashtag? Well, you're not on social media.
No, but I know. I still read. The Guardian, RT.
Hashtag Blackfire.
Yes, I know about this.
Okay, so this started popping up everywhere, and I was like, "What's hashtag Blackfire?"
Man, it's a real thing.
Is this some astronomical event I'm missing out on? We're fixing to get in October. We're fixing to get
brothers are getting done.
Hold on,
with Biden.
We're fixing to get the eclipse coming over. Is this something going on? There's all this astrological stuff. We have 7 planets in retrograde or some shit. I'm all like, "What is Blackfire? Is this something I'm missing out?"
Sounds like a cool name of a band.
So I started looking, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Did you look at
this
all the?
This is a movement.
Yeah. Did you see all the social media posts that were?
Oh my
put up?
god! It was trending for like 3 days, and it was just
the brothers are
going
getting
nuts,
done, dude. They're getting done.
But the craziest thing is like that they said was the Democrats done fucked up. They gave this guy a mugshot, and that's what we want. Anytime a rapper gets a mugshot, his album is #1 for weeks, and we support everything he does.
Yeah, that's a bit of marginalization of why they're really done, and the fact that the media is building so much into, it's the mugshot. No, black males are getting done with lies that the Democrats have continued to throw at them 24/7.
Did you see there is a political movement that is real called N-Words for Trump?
I wouldn't doubt it, man. I wouldn't doubt it.
This is a group.
If you talk, what do you?
They're handing out signs and all sorts of shit. This guy had a shirt. He
Have
was
you ever
talking
talked
about
to
it.
a real?
They're real.
Well, I know you have because you grew up in the South. But go talk to a black preacher. They are built on conservative values, and they still believe It's not like they. It's funny because Democrats have pigeonholed them so much and fed them so much bullshit and used them
so much
and used them.
and used them.
And that should be a warning to the trans community, honestly, because that's exactly
You're just being used.
they are done. They're
yeah.
done messing with the black males. They've
They're
already
just
wrote them
moving
off.
group to
They're
group to
moving
group.
groups, and now the LGBTQ plus community,
Are just
they're the
being
ones
used.
that are being used, and it's amazing how the public just falls for mainstream media and
It is-
Democrats bullshit.
That Blackfire blew my mind. Blew my mind. Like I was like,
Do you think that's making people
Holy
nervous
fuck.
as fuck at the Democratic convention? They're going to be like, "What the fuck are we going to
they
do?"
should have been nervous 4 years ago once
They
the
didn't.
once Mushroom Head or Mush Head got
good band.
into office. They should have been planning on someone else to take his spot,
They didn't.
and they haven't. And
Do
this
you
guy
think-
is. They should be.
Do you think he's going to see the general election? Oatmeal
I've
Brain?
said this beforehand. He will be. Something will happen to him.
Chat room.
He may be in a
Raise your hand if you think.
private jet shot down
Yeah.
by a missile over Russia. I don't know.
Dude, you know how many times he's been at the White
it's
House this month and all the shit that we've had happen with Maui and all that, which we're going to get to that. He has been at the White House 3 days up until now.
He took his vacation.
He's doing another vacation this weekend.
He took a vacation when one of the worst natural disasters has happened.
They bitched
besides
about
Katrina.
They bitched about Trump going and playing golf a few times while he was working. Guess what? Golf, you can go
He's
play
been off
and
for
you
a
can come
month.
back. He's been gone for a month. The people of Maui are about to riot. The
Dude,
natives.
Did you hear him?
the
them
native
yell
residents.
at him? Did you hear them yell at him?
I'm not sure,
Dude,
if I did.
he tried.
But I'm sure they are.
Okay, so the speech,
I'm reading what they're saying.
the crazy speech he gave that needs.
Made- oh my
this is
gosh.
in the show notes. That needs to be studied by professors for years to come. Like, and it needs to be used as a some type of book, some type of symposium of how not to ever give a speech to people that have lost everything in their life. You don't go up there and joke about how you once had a house burned down and you almost lost your Corvette and your cat.
A kitchen fire that was out in 20, done.
It was lightning hits a pond
Yeah.
and lit up your AC ducts and the house caught on fire.
You know
and
that
you
was like the-
almost lost your Corvette. Fuck you. You're talking about a town that was completely wiped out. A lot of these people lost their loved ones.
He was probably hoping for it because the documents were in his Corvette.
Probably. These people lost their loved ones. They lost everything they own, and you get up there and you joke about.
Jackass.
I've got all the audio right here if y'all want to hear
Yeah.
it. But it's
Go ahead.
here. I'm just gonna play this. Just listen.
You
This
know
is-
Not to compare difficulties, but we have a little sense, Jill and I, what it's like to lose a home. Years ago, now 15 years ago, I was in Washington doing Meet the Press. It was a sunny Sunday, and lightning struck at home on a little lake that's outside of our home, not a lake, a big pond, and hit a wire and came up underneath our home into the heating ducts, the air conditioning duct. To make a long story short, I almost lost my wife,
I forgot
my
the point.
67 Corvette,
All bullshit too, by
and
the
my
way.
cat.
You
His
just
wife
talked-
was his wife's. I'm sorry, I talked over the Corvette.
Yeah,
You know, this
I'm
isn't
backing
the
up.
first
Hold on,
time
hold
that
on,
he's
hold on.
used this either.
Let me
right?
play this.
He's
Yeah,
done this several
He's used
times.
this again. Hold on.
My 67 Corvette, and my cat.
Fuck you. These people have lost everything and are living in these little pop-up things that a company from, I don't know, Sweden or something like that, they built these little temporary housing shelters that are being flown over. They're in the process of flying like over 320, and they just got like 50 of them or something like that arrived. These people have nothing, and you're giving a speech to them about how you almost lost your Corvette and your cat
It's
and
like
your wife.
It's like going to Hiroshima and joking about how you had a firework accident with a black cat one time, so you can
I nearly
empathize with what
lost a
happened.
finger because a black cat went off in my hand. These people just got nuked. This isn't something like, if this fucker showed up, I would take a shoe off and throw it at him. Like George Bush. You don't do that. That's not like, who the fuck is writing for him?
That's what I'm wondering. Who
Out
thought
of
that
all
was a
the
good idea?
speeches we've had, George Bush had shitty fucking
I'll
speeches
tell
he
you,
gave.
it's some stupid fucking millennial that's running the White House.
Who is like fire them?
I don't know
And
why
how
they
does
don't.
no one at the White House realize like your press corps is the worst fucking people in the world? Well,
They're so
not the press corps,
it's
but the people in the White House
because
that are writing all your press
You know what,
stuff.
Dustin? It gets back to what we talked about earlier in the
Jesus.
show. Their press corps are Facebookers and
Well, the press corps is actually the
Instagrams.
press,
Not the press corps,
but the people that work in there. Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like that crazy lady that comes up and tells everybody what's going on.
They're secretary of the press.
Right. Dude, she's one of the biggest fucking idiots I've ever. I don't think I've heard her answer one question. It's always refer to someone else, refer to them.
Or I'll get back with you.
I'll get back with you. I'll refer
well,
you to this.
You
I'll
never
refer you to
get
that.
back to it publicly. You may tell them behind the scenes, but you never get back to it publicly.
It's because it's a bunch of millennials that are propping him up, and what they do is stare at their cell phones all day long. That's all
doom
they
scroll.
do. They doom scroll. That's why everything that has come out of this man's mouth lately has just been a bunch of garbled horse shit. I don't think they know what to say because honestly,
RoboTuner brings up something good I want to get to.
honestly, dude, I think that he is so mentally gone that they are panicking. They don't know what the fuck to do because they're hiding him the best they can. This whole vacation stint during a crisis in one of our most beautiful states in the country that we fought with the Japanese over, like there is no way any other president that we've ever experienced would have gone on vacation, waited, what was it, 10 days to even go down there. Have you heard the people of Maui and how upset they are?
They
are on the
Bush
verge
too. Yeah.
of rioting.
Yeah, they're pissed.
They are close to rioting.
You're not on social media, but there are videos everywhere of him and his motorcade coming through and just angry Hawaiians flipping him off and throwing shit at his car as he drives through there.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either.
And then remember there's just so many things that have happened in the last couple of weeks, and he's sitting on a beach with his man boobs out, looking at little 8-year-old girls.
Well, that's weird. So, RoboTuner brings up something about Maui, and this is a true scientific thing. He brings up the blue houses. Why weren't they affected? And blue is one of the weirdest colors in the world. It's the hardest color to see. It's the hardest color to differentiate.
Keeps you up at night. Did you know that?
Yeah. Well, that's Viagra, the blue pills, right? It is the hardest color to see. It's considered a forbidden color.
Blue is?
It is one of the hardest colors to
favorite
see different shades of, because you can't judge the shading of it as the graduation falls off, and it's one of the weirdest colors. It's the hardest color to get hot and for energy to go through. There's been all sorts of tests.
What happens when you mix it with yellow?
Well, it becomes green. But out of the three primary colors, it's the oddest color out of those three, and it has all sorts of different properties that the other two don't have. And as far as energy, passing energy through it, getting it hot, the melt point on things that are painted blue is way higher than stuff that's painted red or that falls in the red spectrum or the yellow spectrum, if we just go by primaries. So that's what they're saying is a lot of the cars, the houses that had blue on them.
The bluest flame is the hottest flame, right?
Yeah, which is weird, but anyway. We don't need to talk about blue flames here.
What about blue waffles?
But it's one of the things. It's the paint. We definitely don't need to talk about that. You can look it up. You can check it out.
Yeah.
So
how are they saying that bad boy started now? Power lines?
The big thing is the power lines, because that hurricane came through and it blew the power lines. It knocked them down and they were still hot, dry vegetation, because that side of Maui is doesn't get enough rain. It goes to the north and I forgot how they said it, the north and east side. And these are real people, not what the fucking news is telling you
Right.
and shit. But like the rain, the way it rolls off the mountain, it leaves that part of Maui really dry, almost desert-esque. And that at this time of year, a lot of the stuff is dead. And so when the power lines fell over, they lit them on fire. But there's a bunch of other shit that's really weird about all that. We can spend 2 hours on Conspiracy Corner of
Oh,
Maui.
it'll be around for a few years, I imagine.
In fact, if we ever get Tim in here, I would like to do Conspiracy Corner on just Maui because there's weird shit that happened. But as far as the stuff that's blue, like that blue car that's just sitting there amongst all the other cars, the color blue is a protectant. And if you look at look at other countries, look at Mediterranean countries, and the roofs of a lot of their buildings, they're blue. And the reason is because of heat dissipation. That it doesn't get as hot. You would think they'd be white. Take Greece, for example. White buildings with blue roofs. It's all for heat dissipation. And
you want to talk about the Greek people?
How they love anal? Is that what you're getting at? So if we're going to talk about heat and hot, it is way too easy. We gotta get. Man, we're running out. Oh no. Okay, we got to get to our why you should live on a rock. But I was talking with
build your house on the rock.
Build your house on a rock. But I went and watched the race over at Tim and Whitney's. And we got to talking about something, and I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to go crazy here. But a mutual friend of ours is in the energy sector. I'm just going to say that. And he's very knowledgeable about things. And this conversation made me go look it up. And sure enough, it's true.
Okay.
Or it's a good theory. The reason why we're so hot and why this heat bubble is trapped in the central part of the United States. And it stretches from pretty much Mexico to Canada. Why it's trapped between the two big mountain ranges, the Rockies and the Appalachians. And kind of the Smokies.
List of the Rockies.
The theory that everyone that is having is not only is it El Nino year, which none of these weather people talk about. We're in the middle of El Nino, which it's going to be wetter and more humid, period. But remember when you sent me a little text and video in the middle of the night of an island blowing up outside of Tonga, an underground or an underwater volcano blowing up, and how much it changed the atmosphere immediately?
Yeah.
And you could see it from space, and the shock wave traveled around the earth 7 times. Well,
which was crazy because how did it not cause massive tsunamis? But that's another question for another show.
But yeah, well, it caused some, but not massive. But yeah, so theory being that dust particles from that region, from Tonga, are in the air, is that when that volcano blew up, it blew up with such force that it shot dust particles and water vapor so high into our atmosphere that it has lingering effects that could last for a couple of years. And they think that some of that moisture and some of those water molecules have now dissipated, come down, and gotten trapped between our mountain ranges and can't escape, and has caused this heat bubble to be as hot as it has.
Cap that
it's
we
not
get
the usual
this
cap.
time of
it's
year.
Added.
There's added,
yeah. And it's not, and that's completely natural. It's not climate crisis stuff. It's not, climate change stuff like everybody's saying. Like, this is something natural, and this is something you got to look forward to if volcanoes this big keep erupting like they're predicting, or if Yellowstone erupts and blows half of Wyoming away.
The Rock.
So,
telling you, The Rock. Find something. Believe in something because, man.
It's a very interesting thing. You can go look it up. Go just look up the Tonga volcano and the current heat wave on any of your little search engines, and it will bring it all up. They'll bring up stories of how scientists are thinking. This is what's happened. The bad thing is that they say that some of those dust and ash particles, and even the water vapor particles that are in the air, could still be in the air for years to come. Like this could be a 2 or 3 year thing.
Is it going to move?
Kind of warms it. This is like one of the biggest volcanoes that's erupted in the last
will it
3 or
move
4 decades.
The cap that's been
Well,
placed?
the problem is it's stuck. Who knows? If we get good cold fronts, it should push it out because all those come from the north and push down. And the reason they push down at such violent trajectory is because of our mountain ranges. But I'm wondering, and I just want to see, is there's places where dirt and ash naturally deposit in our country. One of them being the Great Sand Dunes National Park, where dirt can't carry over the Rockies. That's why we have these giant ass Sahara sand dunes in the middle of Colorado. I would like to see maybe if they went and did samples of that sand, if there would be some ash from Tonga region, like if they could look it up and see if it was,
right,
some of it gets trapped there or not. That's being nerdy and scientist.
No, that's being cool. How cool would it be to be an archaeologist or something that studies this shit?
A geologist.
Geologist.
We have a friend that's a geologist. He's
gynecologist.
He's in a band.
Wait,
right around here. He does a podcast, Geology on the Rocks. We totally could have him on here and talk about that.
We should.
We totally should.
We'll talk about fishing.
So here's the big thing that we've been teasing the whole time about building yourself on a rock.
Yeah.
Last week you asked me about a series to go watch.
One episode,
and I watched half of it in here, and I was like, I need to sit down and really watch this.
It's funny that both of us nerded out on it this week, though.
So
the whole thing.
I rewatched that one episode. It's called, I've got it pulled up here, UFOs, Investigating the Unknown. It's on Nat Geo. If you have Disney Plus, you automatically have Nat Geo. It's free. Or you can just hop on YouTube and watch these for free. Nat Geo puts all their stuff up on YouTube. So either or, you can watch it. It's 5 episodes.
Yeah, easy watch.
Easy watch. Sorta.
Sorta, until you get to the end and you want to seek shelter.
So the second episode has to do with Stephenville.
Which is what I brought to your attention. Why did we not do anything about that?
The lights and we have friends that were out there during that.
We touched on it, I remember.
We have.
Well, actually, it was right before.
The second time. So Stephenville has occurred twice.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first time was a big deal. I think our friends that we know very well and have had on the show, we could have them in to talk about it. They were out there the second time it happened. Was these lights appeared in Stephenville, were chased off by F-16s. The lights, there were multiples of them. They moved around. They did erratic shit.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of people saw it.
The F-16s were scrambled out of Fort Worth.
The F-16s were, yep. And the Naval Air Station denied it at first, and then finally came out. We're like, yeah, we were.
This was 2008, right?
That's the first time. When was the second time? 2010.
I think it was a year later.
2009, 2010.
I think that documentary said it was a year later.
So a year later, the same thing happens, basically, and hundreds of other people. And basically, what it does is it starts south of Dublin, makes its way up to Stephenville, over Stephenville, and towards Comanche Peak, and Glenrose.
They go back to some.
They get to some
later in the series,
and it's really like there was a lady that worked for the Stephenville newspaper that got obsessed with the first time, and the people at the newspaper were like, you got to stop obsessing about this. You need to write about other stuff. You need to do this stuff, to the point to where they fired her because she wouldn't stop investigating and going after this stuff and causing problems for the newspaper. And then a year later, this happened again, and the head editor of
Said she felt bad.
said she felt bad that she fired this reporter because now she's seeing it
And she's obsessed.
and she's obsessed with it.
Right.
And the original reporter died during COVID. She got COVID and passed away, but so they couldn't talk to her, but they talked to the editor and they
Yeah.
did all this stuff, and they talked to different people at the Naval Air Station. We're like, yeah, we scrambled F-16s and chased after.
Reluctantly came. At first, they tried to deny.
Yeah, but in this documentary, they finally talked to them. Are like, yeah, we scrambled them. We don't know what it was, and there are people under, is it FIO, Freedom of Information Act, no FIO. They got radar patterns of what
And
the
it shows up.
F-16 did and what these objects did from the FAA, and it's wild. And this is stuff that is you can get your hands on. This is physical stuff you can get.
Makes me want to go down there and interview some people and do some shows.
That area is so weird,
dude. They all something
so
else about
strange.
a little sidebar for Stephenville. They for a while. I don't know if it's still this way. Jewel lived down there. That rodeo
Ty.
dude lived down there. There was a big
Ty
Stephenville
Horton.
city limits. All the country acts, all the Texas country, all the red dirt country had to play Stephenville,
You got the
Texas.
poo down there.
They got the college.
We're not allowed to talk about the poo.
So let's describe what everybody. And that's the other thing. Everybody saw the same thing. There was no, I saw this, I saw that. It
They
was all.
saw the exact same thing, and it was an arch of lights.
Do you think a spaceship the size of Walmart would freak you out?
Yeah,
Because this was bigger than that.
and that's what
It was
the guy
over
said.
a mile and a half
He's
long,
like,
is what they think.
What everybody was talking about was comparing it to the size of a Walmart, and they were like, no, it was way bigger than that, and it had an arch of lights that ended up, the lights changed and went into a solid rectangle, and these F-16s were chasing it. It wasn't, a lot of people said, there are a few people on there that said they could see an object, but couldn't make out what it was. Like, they just knew it was big, giant.
There was one description that
was the second time.
The one description that freaked me out the most, I think, about that instance down in Stephenville was one guy said it was a bunch of circles, formed a line, and then combined and looked like a portal.
Yeah.
That's some freaky shit. And then disappeared.
And these F-16s are just scrambling around. The second time, which I think we've had, I'm almost positive there are 2 people on this wall that were down there and saw it. I'll tell you after the show. I don't want to say anything on the show because I know you fucking other podcasts listen to our shit and try to steal our people. Our guest. I know it. I'm watching you. No, I'll tell you after the show because I don't want to say anybody's name and get it wrong and then throw them under a weird bus.
Get them investigated by the CIA.
Because they're not a corporation. They're individuals. I mean, we'll make fun of corporations all day or businesses, but not individuals. But anyway, so what I did was today, I rewatched this episode for the show so we could talk about it, and then I just let it roll through 3, 4, and 5. And
just more
I slowly
and more crazy.
went, what the fuck? If you are freaked out, if you're one of those people that are freaked out by extraterrestrials,
don't watch it.
That there's other people living out there, there's other things out there in space and they're watching us, do not watch this. Because there is so much stuff that comes out in this. And this is modern.
Current. Yeah, it gets
this
pretty
is
current.
really current because like I was telling you, I thought I would get to this last episode and it would be like 5 or 6 years old. No. It was up to 2022.
Right.
Probably the end of 2022. It aired February 27th of 2023.
It basically worked up to the congressional hearings that they're starting to have right now.
Right now.
And it tells you how serious these congressional hearings that were just kind of sidebarring because Hunter Biden and Trump, there's some very weird and important stuff that's been going on with these Senate committee hearings.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff like they get into about we can't, like the president doesn't even know what the fuck's going on. Lazar's in it, talks about his stuff. The F-18 pilot and the female pilot that followed those two orbs around and were like, "What is this? What's going on?" That happened. What that was 2 years
Highly
ago.
acclaimed pilots.
That was during
I think it was
COVID.
2017, wasn't it? The first one.
Was it that time? Was it that far back? I thought it was during COVID
It
because
might
then
have been during COVID.
they were
It hasn't been over 10 years.
they landed and went to DC to be
no,
debriefed.
The one guy landed and sent his captain, said, "You got to go out there and check this out." Captain gets in the the plane, takes off, goes and finds it again because apparently there's spells that keep happening around not just all over the world, but around our country. There's hot spots.
There's a weird this is a weird term to use, but portal is what I'm going to use. That's right off the coast of
Carolinas. And
the
stuff,
Carolinas that they see stuff fly out of all the time, and it's not like it comes out of water and then goes into space, and they've been tracking, or it comes out of the water, zips around a little bit, then into space and gone, and it's like what? No one can explain all this stuff. And one of the things that makes 100% sense in my mind is they interview these young pilots that are like, we can't talk about this because if we do, we lose our credibility of being we can't be a pilot anymore. They think we're insane, so we won't tell anybody about this stuff. But this incidents happen
and there's
all
hush hush
the time.
And the U.S. government, it's okay. So
and that one guy was like, I don't want to go through all the bullshit of
right
having to be debriefed on all these all the time.
And it's and the government has done really well at keeping everything hush hush since the 50s. The thing is, so we had one first world country in the last few years that finally came out and said extraterrestrial. The only way we can explain what happened is extraterrestrial activity, and it was France. And when they did that's when everybody's like, whoa, hold on a second, let's start doing some heavier investigation. This reporter that's in a lot of it, the lady with the looks like an alien with her hair that's kept the same look for 20 years, which is amazing, but she's a real deal, like New York Times hardcore reporter, investigative reporter.
That's the other thing about all this.
And she's just dedicated her life to it.
The real deal people that are in this that are like, yeah, I've been on this scene. Like, I was shocked at who's been on this scene and who's been tracking it for how long. And you're like,
yeah,
I thought y'all were just political commentary reporters or whatever. They're like, no. We've been on this to figure out what the hell's going on.
The politicians that are starting to get behind it, like that Jill Gillibrand, was she from California, I believe? Podesta, he's on it. The guy that brought it to the U.S., the attention of everyone.
Rubio was on it.
Rubio.
Rubio was a big player.
But the main dude that said, hey, we got to start having hearings about this. I think he's retired now, but his name was James Hayes or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, did you see that? Before I forget, that I don't know if you caught this in the last episode because you told me you were pretty busy. The material.
I need to really rewatch.
Did you see what I put in the notes? The material that was gathered at one of the sites of a crash, or apparently, or something. When they got out there, they had they sent it to the lab and everything, and all the scientists agreed it had been lab produced. It was not a natural forming material. That's weird.
Well, so what does that mean? Like someone on
this
ingredients, planet moved?
No, it was ingredients that were made that were not of this planet, A, and B, the material somehow they were smart enough to figure out that it had been modified. When you go back and watch the last episode, I'm explaining it terrible, I'm sure. When you go back and watch the last episode, I believe that's when it comes up.
I was watching it while I was working, and I was pretty tied in up until the last episode.
You weren't Facebooking.
I wasn't doom scrolling, but then the last episode kicked in, and I was like, I was working, and I was like, I need to rewatch this because there is so much stuff that's just being vomited on you at once.
That last
that
episode,
it
yeah.
hurt your head, and I'm like, what?
So one thing you did say you heard a little bit. Let's talk about this. The nuclear sites.
Yes.
How freaky is that?
So there have been objects seen, including Comanche Peak,
Been shut down. Power
that-
been shut down.
UFOs have been seen over these sites that have shut facilities down, nuclear facilities, and have shut down nuclear silos, nuclear missile silos.
They seem to be attracted to the nuclear.
That's what a
realm.
big thing is, that they know we have nuclear technology and it interests them, is what they kind of think. But they have shut down all sorts of nuclear plants across the country, and people see stuff in the sky. One of them said that, I forgot what it was, like you couldn't see it, but you could see it. Is like so how he described it.
Yeah. How about that Iranian pilot?
Shooting at it,
Like launching more than one type of ballistic.
and it just
Absorbed it.
Yeah, no big deal.
Freaky stuff, man.
There's shit out there.
There's shit out there. And
after
you watch this series, like, I've always thought that.
It's so crazy just to say that, like anytime you say this shit, people are like, you're fucking crazy. You're mental about this. Watch this series because it all makes sense. They don't bring up like the shit that happened in Russia or whatever, where all those guys were abducted that ended up being a CIA project.
Yeah, there's no probing going on in this. This is This is real shit.
This is seeing real shit.
No, so.
And a reporter, I didn't know this, but a reporter came up with the story of the flying saucer.
Yeah.
And that's why it stuck around. I thought
It was
that
just
was
a
pretty funny.
name.
It was just a name. He's like, it's like a pie saucer just flying through the sky and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, we'll call them flying saucers.
So the one that they've been
that
is referenced a lot, that's the most recent, is the Tic Tac, the flying Tic Tac right now, which can just make a left-hand turn, a 90-degree turn going, what is it? They're projecting 15,000 miles per hour is what they think the speed of these objects are.
Yeah.
Also the orb that went through the battlefield in not Fallujah, I think it was Afghanistan, wasn't it?
Was it Afghanistan? But
One of the wars.
They've got it. The drone was
seems
watching.
to fly right through a whole battle zone, just watching what's going on.
Watching what's going on, and
look at these
seeing
stupid humans fighting.
Yeah, and flies off, and no one can explain what it's doing. The pattern doesn't make any sense.
They get into that,
and that video, if you haven't seen it, just go look up UFO orb in Battlefield.
The Malaysia flight video, that's as being hard. Like, people are not able to shoot that down.
No.
The orbs are weird.
Doing the rotation thing around the plane.
What are the droids that the Empire has on Hoth? I think it's Hoth. Kind of looks like an octopus.
The Imperial probe droid?
That's what these orbs remind me of, is an Imperial probe droid.
The way they're just kind of flying around it?
Yeah, they just kind of zoom across close to the surface of the planet. See, when I watch this, I'm like you. I always have thought that there's no way that the only form of life in this in existence is Earth. I've always felt that way. Now,
I felt that way too.
There's a paradox that you run into when you think about this stuff, and it's a mental block that we make up, and that is religion. And the thing is, if you think about it, there could definitely still be religion. If you're a religious person, there can definitely still be religion, and there can still be alien life form. And that is because we are not God. We don't have we're not even we don't have the essence of God. We don't even have the capability to think about what God can do, or goddess, whatever. A higher power, a higher entity. We don't have in our brain the capability to know what in the world God was thinking, or whatever was this higher power was thinking. He could have several playgrounds that he's messing with. There's nowhere in the Bible does it say, or any kind of religious book does it say, that humans,
he just stopped at Earth,
can't understand what God is doing.
It didn't. It even says he didn't stop at Earth, But this is a conversation I had with Susie a few weeks ago. Was we got into a big conversation about religion, and she talked about it on religion and aliens. She talked about it on her show, and I was wrongly
accused of sexual harassment.
Exactly. I was wrongly. Her description of our conversation was pretty wrong because
misrepresented.
What I told was misrepresented. There you go.
You want to clear the air right now?
Oh, clear the air at the end of our show while I'm yawning. My thing is, like, if aliens come to be a realistic thing, it changes religion. It changes religion.
It doesn't shoot it down.
It doesn't shoot it down, but it'll change Catholicism. It'll change
all of them.
Christianity.
All of them.
It'll change Muslim. What?
Islam?
Islam. Yeah, whatever. Islam.
It'll change Muslim.
It says that it will change the belief because these religions have always believed that man was just below God. Humans were created in God's image.
Mm-hmm. We interpreted it that way, but that's not
that doesn't
mean it's true.
It's true, and you're using a book that was written by humans,
influenced by government,
influenced by
all kinds
kings,
of stuff,
and changed by kings so it fit what they could and couldn't do,
control people,
or what they wanted to do at that time, how they wanted to live their life. And
that was
so
a chair, I promise.
That's the thing, is like, you have these religions that think that humans are one step away from
deity.
Basically, yes, we're the closest thing. If an alien shows up and shows to be superior to a human,
which they already have with their aircrafts, and their travel,
if all this is true and all this becomes 100, like if a UFO stops,
just over Washington D.C.
and just shows up, if this is
please aliens, please aliens,
the day the Earth stood still. If one stops right there on the mall, and the little brrr comes out, and the big iron alien comes out,
for everybody,
and he just instantly vaporizes a tank, like in the day the Earth stood still, it changes everything. It changes
the face of everything,
the
Earth,
belief
humanity.
system of everybody and everything of what's going on. And all of a sudden, you realize that there is something out there that is alpha to you. Humans on this planet, we are alpha. But all of a sudden, you find out there's something else that is better than you, that's alpha over you. That changes every fucking
that
thing.
might not give a fuck about us. That might be
doesn't
here to
care.
just
It's
take
just
our
like,
minerals and our nuclear power and just waste the Earth away, throw it away like trash, like we step on an ant pile.
What do you think about this this discovery they found on Mars about xenon? Xenon is a after effect of nuclear waste. It's something, I think it's xenon. I have to go. I'm almost 100%. Don't hold me for this. Don't screw me over this. But I'm going to use xenon for right now. But I have to look. But there is. They found that Mars is covered with xenon, and it's the only way to accomplish getting this element is post atomic or nuclear war or a nuclear explosion.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way you can produce this element.
That might be what that note I made.
Now they're starting to think that Mars might have been a
living planet
battleground at one time.
Okay, so that might be exactly what they talk about in the UFO and that you missed. When you go back, listen for that part.
I'm going to go back and watch that last episode again tomorrow.
Yeah, man, what a wild show.
This
is one of our wild ones.
Well, this UFO show, if you have Disney
It'll
Plus,
change you.
Go back and watch these 5 episodes. They're really fucking good. but it is.
It's not
from
hokey.
someone like my belief system has always been there's something out there, but the little gray men thing is kind of far fetched because it's always that's what they are in movies or whatever, or the Mars attacks, thing, and the gif of the Akak gif. But that whole thing, I've been like, that's pushing it. There's an alien life form can be bacteria on
At
Mars.
this point, it could be an AI form
or on a robot.
Right?
On Jupiter or something. It could be shit like that. There's got to be something else out there. It can't be just us. There's so many, and now with this, the new observatory we've just put up, and the stuff it's seeing, and how it's now seeing other galaxies with exoplanets, and how there's Earth-type planets very close to us. That, yeah, they're hundreds of light years away, but they're still very close to us. There's got to be other shit out there. There's got to be, and even if it's a plant.
I've played Destiny. I know this. I know there's stuff out there.
On Friday.
Oh, I know. I'm somehow I gotta talk my lady into letting me buy a new Xbox.
On Friday.
Because I have to have that.
On Friday, my ADHD is going down. Yeah, Aiden's already like. So
are they putting it out? They're not going to do it in. It's only Xbox. I heard is the only platform.
Yeah, but because they bought Bethesda and Microsoft are one now,
so they're going to hold on to it for a while.
Yeah, and it's only.
So it's not going to be something that Aiden can put in his magic machine in there.
No, it's on Steam too. Ugh. It'll be on Steam for his computer, but he wants an Xbox Series X.
I'm gonna have to get one.
Yeah, dude.
I know a lot of moving parts, ladies and gentlemen. This week,
yeah, our ADHD will go down. We'll be more focused next week because we'll be playing Starfield. And I have gotten since our episode, so many people going, Jesus Christ, this game looks awesome. Yeah. I want to join you guys. I want to do this, that. But I don't think it's multiplayer. I think it's just one player.
Dude, Christy
like
freaked
Skyrim.
Out. Mandy's friend Christy freaked out when I sent her the
video.
The 30-minute.
Is she a gamer?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
She's the one that she was freaking out that I was playing Far Cry 5. That's her favorite Far Cry.
That's the best Far Cry by far. Far Cry 6 sucked.
That's what I was going to ask you. Should I do any others besides this one?
No, because that one's like a Cuba island thing, and it's pretty terrible.
Pollo chicken. But when she found out that it's she's PlayStation. And I was like,
yeah.
This might be one of those
Microsoft
games, kind of like The
Bethesda.
Last of Us, that I need to get a PlayStation for. And this sounds like it might be a game you just gotta bite the bullet and get another console.
It's an ender.
Might be.
It's got to be. I mean, I'm sure it'll have flaws at the beginning, and a lot of people I've seen articles leading up to. Like,
there's already people shitting on it.
Well, no, there was an article today talking about the other game that came out a few years ago that was supposed to be an ender. That's based No Man's Sky was supposed to be kind of the same way, not as.
Didn't you dabble with that?
Tactile? No.
Someone I knew dabbled with that.
Yeah, we do know someone that dabbled with that, and their recommendation was like, "Don't do it."
Yeah.
But, and that one was multiplayer, and a lot of people got pissed off because it took them ages to find someone else because it was so big, and that it just wasn't fun. Like you're just running around forever doing stupid shit trying to find something because it was so big.
Desolate. It's like it's too desolate.
Way
but
too
there
desolate.
Sounds like there might be planets on this. What's the name of the game again?
Starfield.
Starfield, yeah. There's apparently might be planets like that in Starfield that you just happen to go to.
The story with No Man's Sky was that like it just dips you off somewhere shitty, and you gotta build your ship from nothing and get going so you can just make it somewhere where people might be.
Yeah. Like
the Coruscant of the game, where everything happens. That's the center of the galaxy.
You know what one of my favorite lines so far of Formation has been, is when the dude from The Wire's talking to his daughter before he dies, and he says, and she was asking. Well, actually, this was when she was a little kid, and she was asking about where humans came from because the main character are humans.
Yeah.
The main characters. So
I think from a place called Earth.
I think some people believe that we're from a little small planet called Earth.
Yeah.
You're like, that's it.
Yeah. I caught that. I was wondering if
That's
they're
a
gonna
cool
mix it in.
line.
And it's like, yeah, I think we're from some. Dude, the technology in that game, or in that movie, or
I
that
know.
show, is. I hope Robotuner's not still in here, but when the sabotage happens in the first season,
Mm-hmm.
the terrorist attack,
Oh my gosh,
and you're just like,
they make it so brutal.
holy.
It reminds you of 9/11.
But you have like when she goes to the planet for the first time, and she's like, "This is a 12 or a 14-hour drive."
Oh, the
elevator
Yeah.
ride from space down to the planet on that tube. You know, it's 14 hours to get from there to there. And then they blow it up and it falls
onto the planet,
to the planet.
and it looks so real.
And it's a scar on the planet for the rest, well, up till now. They reference it and they show that it just rips the planet like in half.
There was
It creates a
when
canyon.
Thomas first watched the first episode, he was saying there's a lot of ties to earthly, what's going on with our government and stuff, like the world government and stuff.
Oh, I hope we don't have Biden clones and Trump clones.
No.
Let's get rid of them all.
Hey, the foundation could easily be where we're headed.
Well, it's
if we evolve, and that's another thing when we were talking about God and stuff a while ago. Just because, okay, so I don't know how anyone can argue that we're alpha beings at this point, because I'm convinced there's stuff out there. I don't need any more stuff. I've always felt that way. It feels like my heart and my head is telling me we're not the shit. There is something out there that's bigger and badder than humans. But one thing that humans are, I do believe, on the step of, and just because we're on this step doesn't mean we're about to be godlike or have an essence of God. I do feel that the human race is evolving right now. We're in the process of the next evolution of humans.
We're about to step up.
Or we're about to
Down.
get exterminated.
It could be
Build your house upon the rock. Believe in something.
What is the what's that show on Amazon Prime that you got me to watch? For a
Oh,
little bit?
Expanse.
So the
I
government,
need to go back to that.
the Earth government in that, that formed because everything fell apart, and then all of a sudden space opened up.
Mm-hmm.
So they became a one world government that is, aren't they called the Federation or something like that? They're called.
I mean, look at Star Wars. There's rarely conflicts on planets. I mean, there are, but usually the planets are
aligned with whoever
them.
Whoever takes them over.
Well, their planet is a government.
Unless you read the books, but and Solo, the movie Solo, you see the Empire attacking a planet like it's World War II.
Well,
with trenches and stuff,
Yeah.
and they're fighting.
Well, what I mean is, world governments seem to be the theme in Star Wars, where
one planet is the government,
right?
Yeah,
not America, Russia, China.
So is that what would create one world government? Is having? So what if all this UFO?
Well, that's the thing. Religious people are against one world government.
What if all this UFO shit is to push us to one world government, and it's all just made up?
By the government?
By the government.
Or the elites?
By the elites to push us to one world government.
Amen.
To make us want to fight. That's what Project Bluebeam is. That's the conspiracy theory behind Project Bluebeam. Is that here in a few months, few years, few whatever, etc., is that all of a sudden we're going to be attacked from the sky, and it's going to cause all sorts of crazy, and it's going to make the planet come together. Like it's fucking Armageddon with Aerosmith's feet singing whatever song, but we're all going to come together to fight something out in space. That's what Project Bluebeam is.
Yeah. No. That could definitely be what's going on. But I tell you this though.
HARP is real.
That is. Conflict is on the horizon.
Yeah.
Like you put all this stuff together. You put the interviews with all these politicians that's gone on lately. What Tucker asked Trump. What everyone conflict is on the horizon. War is coming.
You know what I did before the show?
Rubbed one off.
Ammo count.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. That's why I get back to the message of the day is build your house upon the rock. A rock. Any
Or
rock.
brass
Or smoke
and lead.
Or smoke a rock. On.
If you watch Invasion,
I'm gonna start that after I get these 2 classes done this week.
If you watch Invasion, you will find out that
we're done.
That'll be part of it. You will also find out that bullets do not hurt aliens.
Well, the Iranian pilot found that out too in real life.
That lead does not hurt an alien race.
They eat it. It's like cereal.
Yeah, they just like, okay,
it's
what
like
is
Cinnamon
this?
Toast Crunch.
Stop flinging stuff at me. Yeah. It's like your child throwing a wadded up piece of paper at you. That's basically what it is. And they're coming for us. Is that how we end the show now?
I like making people think that I'm frozen.
All right, we're out of here. See ya next week. Bye.
Man, we're going to have to start taking calls west of the Rockies.
West of the Rockies, you're on the air.
This show just got interesting.